Hey there, Facebook. How y'all doing? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Magical Butter Show. Today, we have an exciting mix of culinary cannabis for you, packed full of delicious infused recipes. We're going to invite a very special chef to come back into the Magical Butter kitchen today and showcase his culinary techniques. This week, hailing from the Culinary Institute of America in New York City, he's a cook that's traveled around the globe learning classical Italian cooking in the foothills of northern Italy. He's worked as a kitchen manager in fancy restaurants in New York, Michelin star holding restaurants, and a fine establishment owned by Mario Batali. We are very honored and excited to invite Chef Michael Scarpa to the Magical Butter kitchen today. That's right, folks. We're going to have an exciting, infused episode of the Magical Butter Show. Make sure you stay tuned and check out what we have in the kitchen.
Welcome to Cafe MB, the internet's best cannabis cooking show. He's your host, giving it the most, putting green butter up on your toast, cooking you some roast, Chris Whitener. And your chef today, his skills will astound you, the aroma will surround you, Chef Michael Scarpa.
Chef Michael
What's going
Scarpa,
on?
how
What's
are you,
going
sir?
on? Good, good, good.
Welcome back to the Magical Butter kitchen.
Glad to be back here. I'm excited to cook with you guys again and show you some more recipes today.
Man, we had you in here a few months back, and you really just astounded the team with your healthy cooking style. You're very precise when it comes time to talking about the recipes. We've gotten nothing but good feedback from the videos we've been putting out, and we had to invite you back in.
Great, awesome. Yeah, we got some healthy stuff today. We also got a little bit of indulgence today as well. We got some steak and potatoes, so we threw in some healthy and some unhealthy, but we're going to have a good show.
Awesome, awesome. And how long have you been cooking, Chef?
I've been cooking actually a little over 10 years now, believe it or not. I started when I was 14 years old and started an Italian market, my cousin's market, and kind of just cleaning the floors, picking herbs, washing dishes, and then kind of worked my way up and just really got into it, went to school, and now here I am.
So you went to the Culinary Institute of America.
Yes, that's up in Hyde Park, New York, so it's about an hour north of the city. So you get the best of the Hudson Valley, all that produce, and a lot of snow in the wintertime, but it was really an awesome experience going to that school. And then I kind of moved back down to the city and enjoyed all that kind of Michelin restaurants and eating out, and there's just a lot of culture there in New York City.
Definitely, definitely. That's one thing I love about New York City is the variety of restaurants, and everywhere you go, you're getting so much good food.
It's like you got so many mixed backgrounds and cultures, and it's almost like you're in a different country every time you walk to a different place. It's pretty cool.
And so what would you say your main influences when it comes time to cook?
I think, you know, my Italian background, I grew up in Howard Beach, New York, Queens, and it's a very heavily Italian neighborhood, and my grandparents had a farm up in upstate New York when I was a kid, and we'd go up there and we'd pick herbs and vegetables and we'd cook with them. So kind of I go back to that, my mom, and, you know, then from there I went to classically trained kind of French cuisine, so it's slightly different, but you still have those Italian roots, so that's where my background's from.
Kind of blend them together.
Exactly, exactly.
So you growing up on a farm, you definitely know what it means to go straight from farm to fork, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's really important these days, and we see a lot of places where you'll just get stuff generic from California or Mexico. We're trying to shop local here in Tampa. A lot of the produce I got today is from local farmers, and that's what we want to stay with.
Awesome, awesome. And I know before you left a few weeks back, we sent you with a magical butter machine. Have you been able to use that a bit in your kitchen?
Oh yeah, definitely. At home, we've done pesto in it, which was excellent. Today we're going to do a chimichurri inside the machine, and it really just works excellent. It kind of blends it up. It works as a food processor. You could also infuse olive oils with garlic, rosemary, thyme, and it's one of those things you don't have to watch, because in the kitchen, typically chefs will take the olive oil and will kind of blanch garlic in there, but what happens is sometimes that oil burns, and that Magical Butter machine keeps it from burning, it gets it that perfect temperature, and that infusion kind of happens.
Wow, that's amazing. So I see all kinds of fresh herbs. You got a big hunk of watermelon up here.
Oh yeah.
What are we gonna be creating today, bro?
So today we got some cool recipes we're gonna do. Obviously we're in the summer, and it's hot. Everywhere it's hot.
It's hot.
So we have watermelon salad is gonna be our first option. People think, oh, watermelon salad. It's really good. It's gonna be mostly watermelon. We're gonna add some cucumbers, some feta, some jalapenos. We're gonna do some lime, some lemon, and then we're gonna do a little bit of salt and pepper on there just to kind of bring it together. Salt, pepper on watermelon, not normal, but it's gonna taste really good. We're gonna get sweet, we're gonna get spicy, some salty. It's gonna be great.
That sounds amazing. I tell you what, my dad, he's from the South. He loves watermelon, and he actually puts salt on it when he eats it. So.
You get that salty, sweet, it's delicious. And actually, people down in South don't really know this, but we grow a lot of watermelons, especially in Central Florida. That's where a lot of the watermelons come from. So it's local, again, and that's what we're trying to do.
Amazing, amazing. So you said you're putting jalapenos in a salad with watermelon?
Oh yeah, let's get started.
That's dynamic.
So what I have here is a kind of a little mini watermelon because we didn't really need a giant one. We're not feeding 30 people here. But the first thing you're gonna do is, if you notice, it's rolling all over the place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one end off, nice and red, beautiful. And we're gonna lay it flat, and that'll kind of give us a base so that way we're not rolling all over the place and we're not gonna cut our hand.
That's a great tip.
Yep, so we'll place it flat. And what we want to do is we're going to kind of skin the watermelon without removing too much of the meat of the watermelon. So I take my knife and I just kind of go in a circular motion, and I just kind of
Just until you see the pink there.
Exactly. You don't want any of the rind. The white and the green is very bitter in a watermelon. And you don't really want that in the salad, but you don't want to lose any of the meat either. So we don't want to go too deep. A little bit of white never hurt anybody.
Wow.
Now, what you can do with this too is, if you want to make like a vinaigrette and you wanted a regular salad, you could get, if you had a juicer or a food processor like the Magical Butter machine, pop it in there, make it, strain it, and then add a little bit of vinegar, salt, pepper, some lime, and that could be like a little watermelon dressing. Wow. If you will. So
there's a lot of versatile things you can do with watermelon.
Yeah. It's diverse, and you can make a cocktail with it. I mean, it's really endless. So it's a good summer ingredient, I think. I just had a watermelon martini last night at dinner. I mean, it's endless.
One thing we have a recipe for is watermelon tequila.
Okay.
You make that directly in the butter machine.
Very cool.
Just like you see here, you peel your watermelon, maybe cut it into some smaller pieces, add your favorite spirit, a little agave nectar.
Beautiful.
Got an infused liquor.
There you go. Yeah, the machine is really, for a chef's perspective, it's really helpful in the kitchen because, like I said, you have those buttons on there which it's set it and forget it. It's kind of like a slow cooker, but making sauces and oils and tinctures and things like that. So
that's awesome. It's exciting to hear when professional chefs find so many uses for the device. You know, it's perfect at a countertop in your kitchen as well. Lot of exciting things we're seeing that people are making. We're live right now in the Magical Butter kitchen with Chef Michael Scarpa. Shout out to all the folks watching along at home. Thank you guys so much for joining us. He is just doing so much beautiful work. This is oddly satisfying to watch him, you know, slice up this watermelon and stack it up.
Yeah, so basically what we want to do is when you're cutting the watermelon, you know, as a chef's perspective, you want to keep everything consistent. So we cut it so that way we got maybe a ½ inch on each slice. ½ inch is medium dice. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of square it off. We don't want to leave any waste. The waste we will use and we'll make a sauce or we'll make a dressing. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut little squares because we want them bite-sized. If we make them too big, then people have trouble eating the salad, and that's not what we're looking for here.
Got it.
But this is really ripe, which is good. Got it at the local supermarket. Comes from Florida. It's got a lot of sweetness to it, and that's why we're going to balance the salad. That's a big thing when you talk to chefs is balance. When you go out to dinner, you want to have a balanced meal, and we're not talking about, you know, nutrients and vegetables. We're talking about flavor components.
Not too much sweet, not too much spicy.
Exactly. So you want a little bit of vinegar for some acid. You want some sweetness from the natural in the watermelon. We're going to have some acid from the lime, and then we have a little bit of almost tartness from the feta cheese. So it kind of really balances great.
And it's interesting when you mix unique flavors together like that. For instance, the feta cheese, it's going to take on a different flavor now that you're eating it with the watermelon.
Oh yeah. Anytime you get a little bit sweet, a little bit salty, it always tastes good. That's why you're saying, your father, if he likes the salt on the watermelon, that's the way to go because it brings out that natural sweetness in it and enhances the flavor.
I gotta compliment you on your consistency here. These cubes are all equally about the same size. And that's crucial, and it's really gonna help your dish look complete and have that aesthetic look you're looking for.
Yeah, for salads, it's the look, but for cooking, you wanna cook everything evenly. If we had big chunks of, let's say, potatoes, and then we had some small chunks of potatoes, what's gonna happen is the small one's gonna cook real quick, it's gonna be mushy, and we want everything to be consistent when we're cooking. And that's important, especially in culinary school, they teach you that. It's the first thing you learn. Then working in restaurants, especially when you're working at a high level, like a Michelin restaurant, everything's gotta be very, very consistent.
So let's talk about that, because when you're at a high level restaurant like that and you're shooting for consistency, you're also moving at a quick pace, right?
Yes.
It's got to be pretty stressful.
Especially in a busy city, and Tampa's grown and become such a busy city, and that's where I live now. And you got to be able to work quick, but you also have to be consistent with it. And that's what they do. They kind of push you as they go. This is a cucumber. It's a seedless hothouse cucumber. I'm going to take it. They call it a European cucumber. And we're just going to cut it small dice. So we did a medium dice on those. We're going to do the same thing. We kind of square it up, and then we kind of cut in little squares, little blocks.
Reminds me of like teppanyaki here.
Exactly.
A little hibachi.
Oh, yeah.
Can we get some paper towels? Oh, actually, I got some here, guys.
Some cucumber goes in there, little squares. We don't want the cucumber to be, you don't want to bite into a giant piece of cucumber. We just want it for the fresh flavor.
Speaking of fresh, you can smell that, right? When you cut into the cucumber. It's such a delicious.
Good green. You don't have to peel the skin on these, which I like. That's why I like the ones that are grown hydroponically. They come out really nice, and it's almost like they don't have a lot of seeds, so you can just throw right in. You don't have to worry about it. And they're fairly cheap in the supermarket, so I would definitely get the ones without the seeds.
So opposed to like a cucumber grown in soil,
yes,
you would have to cut the skin off of that.
And it's going to be a little more watery, where these are going to be more pure, I think. And these are typically what we use in our salads, just because they're easier to work with. They have a little bit more distinct flavor, and they're tasty.
I like chopping up cucumbers and adding it to my water.
Oh yeah,
it's like
a spa.
It's delicious. It's so refreshing. You get some of those electrolytes out of the cucumber.
So like if we took all these ingredients and pureed them and added vodka, we can make a pretty awesome drink. So keeping with that, cucumber, watermelon, jalapeno. We got a sweet, we have spicy. I'm going to put gloves on just so my fingers aren't burning me the whole time.
Oh, from the lime?
From the jalapeno, yep.
Yeah.
Some of them are spicy. Some people don't think they're spicy. I think they're pretty spicy. So when they get under your fingernails and then you kind of touch your mouth later on, you're like, woof, it's kind of spicy.
I got to tell you, man, I made that mistake a few weeks back, cutting up a habanero and no gloves, and washed my hands thoroughly and kind of forgot about it. And actually the next day, I rubbed my eye, and
that was it. It was burning.
I had showered. I had washed my hands, but it was really powerful.
Jalapeno, we just take the end off, and then we're going to cut it down the middle. Now, if you want to be really spicy and you enjoy spice, you go ahead and leave the seeds in. But we're going to kind of tame it down a little bit and control that heat. So we remove the seeds. But I'm going to use a full jalapeno. I don't think it's going to be overpowering. I'm going to slice it really thin, so that way when your customer or the people you're feeding at your house, they bite into it, they're not going to get a crazy amount of heat with every bite.
Just a little bit here and there.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the inside out, not the outside in, because the outside's fibrous. I'm just going to rock my knife back and forth, and I'm going to go really thin. You could also do this on a mandolin if you wanted. The thinner you cut it, I believe, the better, just because we're going to evenly distribute it throughout the salad. And we're using a little bear claw here so we don't lose any fingers, and we're just slicing away from ourselves, nice and easy, rocking the knife back and forth. And then we're left with these little strips of jalapenos. And we just toss them in there and lay them in. And those will just distribute evenly. I'll do the other one. Do the same thing. Nice and easy, thinly sliced. And we do have a couple seeds in there. We're not going to go crazy. Try to get every last seed out. But
the green really complements that bright pink from the watermelon.
exactly. So you'll see that this is going to be visually appealing, right? We're going to have some red, we're going to have some white, we're going to have some green. Next, we're going to do some mint. Again, kind of like making a cocktail.
This is definitely like making a cocktail.
But it's going to be good. It's going to be a good salad. I think it will go good with, you could do chicken, you can do really anything will go good with this salad. You don't just have to eat it by itself. Kind of complement a meal. And I think that's the way to go.
Wow.
Slice the mint.
That's some bright odor there, right when you cut into that.
And we're not going to do too much because we don't want to overpower it.
Right.
I take my gloves off because we're done cutting jalapenos. Cut up some mint.
So you got the sweetness, the mintiness, the spiciness.
Now we're going to do a little basil, which is kind of a little different, but I love basil. It smells good. Again, good in cocktails.
And this is dressings. Did you bring this basil yourself?
Yeah, we brought it from the farmer's market this morning.
All right.
Real good.
My boy, Director Dalton, has got a little basil farm of himself going. Yeah, behind the shop here, we got a whole little garden of basil.
Basil grows really quickly, so it's an easy kind of thing. We're going to do a little bit of salt. We're not going to put too much salt. We're just bringing out enhancing that flavor. We're going to do some pepper.
Boom.
Now, for some acid, what we're going to do is, I got a spoon here, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of, this is distilled white vinegar. Just a little bit, just to brighten everything up. And that's not going to be our only acid. We're going to add lime juice. So we have lime, we have that vinegar. It's just going to kind of complement it. We have some lime here. And what I'm going to add is a little bit of lime zest. It's almost like a perfume for salad. So we do a little lime zest. And we just tap it in. Again, we don't want that rind, but you smell that. It just really brings it out.
That light tartness.
And you don't want to waste the skin. I mean, we're going to use it.
Definitely.
So,
that's still a good lime.
now we'll take this, we'll roll it, kind of release those juices. That's almost like a bartender trick. If you're at home, you want that juice to come out, just kind of roll it, and then all of a sudden you'll get a really juicy lime.
Wow.
And we'll put a little bit of lime in. We can always add more as we go.
Lot less effort went into squeezing that when you roll it ahead of time.
And if you leave them out for a little while, they're easier to squeeze as well. If you put them in the fridge, they just kind of get a little crazy.
Look at that.
All right, so let's go here. We'll mix, give it a mix, see how it looks. We got the herbs, we got the watermelon, we got the cucumber.
The jalapeno.
Jalapeno's in there.
Woo.
Now what I would do is, if I was at home, let's say football season's coming up, you're making a salad for everybody, I would put this in the fridge overnight, kind of let it sit. You'll get a lot more juice in there, and kind of mesh those flavors together.
Man, that's crazy that football season's already come back.
I think preseason's next week. All right, here we go. So we're going to add feta cheese. This is that bright kind of tangy cheese, and we're going to just mix it up.
Wow.
So now we got some white in there, we got red, we got green, and really it took us, what, 10 minutes to make it?
Real quick preparation.
You can buy the watermelon at the grocery store already cut if you're really lazy, you're not really feeling like you want to do anything. Mix it up with some ingredients, and you got yourself a salad. So let's plate it up. Now, you can do this on top of lettuce, but I like it just kind of be a side dish.
Right.
So what I'll do is, I'll add a little bit of, if you notice, a little dry, so I'm going to do a little bit of olive oil. Mm-hmm. And that'll just kind of give it a little bit more of, it'll give it some peppery notes, and it'll give it a little bit more moisture. Put that inside. And what we'll do is we could put a bed of spinach and go on top of that, but like I said, we're going to keep it simple, and we're just going to kind of scoop onto this plate, and you'll notice we're going to get some really good colors.
Look at all the juices from the lime and the vinegar, and
everything just kind of sits on top.
So bright and beautiful. This was a quick preparation. This salad you could pack with you, bring it on a picnic, or it'd be a gourmet appetizer for any meal there.
Why don't you give it a taste and see what you think?
Let's see what we got here.
Now, of course, as it sits, it'll get better and better. So later on, we'll be really enjoying it.
All right, so I got a little bit of that feta, the jalapeno, the watermelon there.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't like spice, just don't put any jalapenos in there. Pretty easy.
Wow.
Is that good?
It's so refreshing. You know, watermelon is delicious no matter how you have it. But when you add so much fresh herbs and the cucumber and jalapeno to that.
It just really complements it well. That cheese, do you like the cheese? I really like that cheese in there.
Traditionally, I don't like feta, but to have it in that fruit salad like that, it was actually very pleasant. I loved it.
All right, so.
Nice work.
Easy salad. That was quick.
That's just a fresh watermelon salad.
Yep.
About a 10-minute preparation there. You can top it with your infused olive oil. You got your vinegar, the fresh herbs, the jalapeno, cucumber, and feta.
You can't go wrong with that salad.
Delicious.
I'm super excited to be back at the Magical Butter Studios. We have plenty more dishes we're going to show you today. The next dish we're going to do is going to be turkey sliders. So again, football's coming up. We want to make some sliders. They feed a lot of people. Burgers, they only feed one person usually. We get sliders, now everybody can kind of pick at them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make turkey sliders. We're going to do an avocado, like a smashed avocado. We're going to make a aioli sauce, caramelized onion, some cheddar, and then we're going to toast the buns, a little bit of lettuce, tomato, and we're going to serve them.
That sounds delicious. You know, I think yesterday was National Avocado Day.
Was it?
Yeah, so that's excellent to hear.
That we got them
We're
in
going to be
here.
using some avocados.
Oh yeah, and we're using the Haas avocados, come from California or Mexico. They're really good. You got to get them really ripe though. That's the big thing. All right, first off, we're going to start off with the thing that takes the longest is caramelized onions.
So start that first.
Yes, it's a simple recipe, but it does take a little bit longer because the onions need to cook and they need to be soft. So we'll take our onion. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the end off one side, the end off the other side, and then we'll cut it in half, and then we'll just peel. Make it simple on yourself. You don't want to be messing with it, start crying. Just peel all the skin off. These are sweet Vidalia onions, so when we're doing caramelized onions, when you're caramelizing something that has more natural sugar in it, it will brown quicker, and then we'll just soften it up and it'll be really good.
Beautiful.
Typically, caramelized onions, they'll usually take 20, 30 minutes. You can cook it for an hour. But we're going to do a quicker version of that today, maybe 5, 10 minutes. We're going to add a little water to help that process go. You mind just putting this on low for me?
Gotcha.
All right, so with our onion, we're going to go ahead and remove the core. And move the core, because the core is not really edible. That's the yellow part inside the onion. It's usually on the back end. We cut it at a diagonal and we just kind of remove it off. That's the yellow stuff. Then what we do is we turn the onion, and you'll see the onion has natural lines on it. And what you want to do is just follow those lines, put your bear claw, and then we'll just do a nice little cut on it. Typical julienne, which we're trying to do here, is 1/8 of an inch thick. I'm going to go thinner than that because I want them to cook quicker. So we just go nice and slow. As long as you got your fingers safe, you don't have to worry about losing a finger there. And just kind of slice until you become maybe a little bit nervous. And then all you can do is take your onion and flip it over the other way. And we'll keep going.
Look at that.
And we'll go as thin as we can. Take your time. If you're not a pro at it, you don't want to lose a finger. So just kind of slice nice and thin, lifting the knife up and down. Make it easy on yourself, and you're not crying yet. The quicker you do it, the quicker you'll stop crying.
Yeah, I noticed I'm not getting any of that effect from the onion.
A big thing too is a sharp knife. If you're using a sharp knife, when you break through those molecules, it's a clean cut. When you're pressing really hard,
juices.
Exactly, everything's kind of flowing, and that's what everybody cries at home because your knives aren't sharpened.
Ah.
So when you're using a sharp knife, really you're not going to cry that much just because it's a nice even cut right through it.
That's a very good tip. Nice tip. And I see you're cutting these so thin. It's beautiful because it's going to help these onions really just melt down.
Exactly. That's
quickly.
what we're really going to look for. And we have some delicious European butter that we're going to use to kind of start the caramelization process and to coat the onions. And what we'll do is we'll turn this heat up just a little bit. And we don't want it to burn the butter, but we want it to almost become like a beurre noir is what they call it, a brown butter.
Brown butter.
And that's what we're looking to do. And as soon as it turns brown, we add the onions. We're going to brown them quickly. Maybe get a little bit hotter, get that caramelization going, and then lower it down and just let them kind of stew away.
Nice.
Okay?
I love that.
Oh, yeah. So this is going to melt.
And when, for me, like raw onions on a sandwich or a salad, not my favorite thing.
I don't love them.
Caramelized onions, put them on any dish. They really take on a whole different flavor.
A texture, flavor, raw onions that leave a really bad taste in your mouth, I feel. I wouldn't put them on a sandwich. Maybe a hot dog, but the caramelized onions, we put it on everything. Burgers, calzones, stuffed chicken with it. I mean, it's just got that sweet, and you don't even taste the onion. It's more just like a sweet kind of caramelized flavor.
Like a complimentary flavor.
Oh yeah, complements everything. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit.
Crank it up.
Oh yeah. And we're gonna start seeing some brownness here. We don't wanna burn the butter. So as soon as we start seeing it bubbling, which it's starting to do now, I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions in.
Wow.
And you hear it sizzle. And it looks like a lot of onions for this pan, but what's gonna happen is once you cook them, they'll start releasing the juices and they'll just fall to nothing.
Melt right down.
Oh yeah. So we slide them in.
And like, for something like this, you want to have your pan uncovered, right?
Yes,
open.
uncovered. Because you want to create the steam after we brown it. We want to get the brown first. So we're going to turn it up, let it brown. We're going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on there. This will give them a little bit of flavor. Some people put sugar in with the onions. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really important. If you're doing a large batch of onions and you want to start that caramelization process, and you got kind of like a little burner at home, go ahead and put a little bit of sugar.
And that'll sort of help with
it caramelize.
Got it.
We're going to let this go and just kind of let it brown.
The onion,
we'll move it around.
Onion has plenty of natural sugar.
Exactly. That's what we're going to tap into. Okay, I'm going to glove up again because we're going to do some turkey burgers.
Woo! Little turkey sliders today,
man.
Yeah. I'm excited.
And we're going to do minis. Now, people might look at them and say, oh, come on. But we can do multiple layers. So we could do almost like a double turkey slider, if you will. And what we have here is we have ground turkey. And what I did was I bought half ground turkey breast and then half ground turkey leg and thigh.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're adding the fat. Just like when you get a burger, it's going to be 80-20, 80% meat, 20% fat. That's what we're doing with turkey because sometimes it gets dried out.
Got it.
And we don't want it to be dried out.
We're
going for a little bit healthier, because we don't want the red meat, but we do want it to be moist.
What part of the turkey is more juicy? Is it the breast or the leg or thigh?
It's going to be leg and thigh.
Okay.
So what we have is we mix it. I didn't season it. Now, if you're going to make big patties, I would season the meat.
Okay.
But since we're not making giant patties, we're going to have some more surface area. We're going to go ahead and season them after I roll them up. So you almost make like a meatball, and you place it on a wax piece of paper.
Okay.
Let me check my onions here, just make sure we're not burning.
Look at that flip there.
Start getting a little bit of brown on there. I'm going to put it back down and let it cook. We're going to go again. This is about 2 to 3 ounces of meat. That's what your patty's going to be. You're going to roll them up.
Roll them in a little ball there.
Yep.
And if you didn't want to use ground turkey, you could easily do this
ground
with some
beef,
chicken or ground beef as well.
Oh yeah. You could do any type of meat you want. Buffalo, bison. I mean, it's really anything will work. It's all about the process. Now we press down, we turn the wax paper over, and we kind of use our palm to flatten. And we're making little patties.
Beautiful.
And we want to try to make them even thickness, and we're going to try to make them cook quickly. Everything's about cooking quickly, especially if you're having people over. You don't want to sit there making burgers for 30 minutes. So we flatten them out, almost like a little pancake. What I have here is I have done some ahead of time.
So that's a real simple process. You get about 2 or 3 ounces of your ground turkey, roll it up into a little ball, and then press it in between some wax paper like so, and now you have your little turkey slider burgers.
Exactly, and what we're going to do is we'll probably put 2 on each burger, I'd think.
Yeah.
And you could make it like a double cheeseburger, whatever you're really feeling. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to season them up on the wax paper.
Okay.
And I'm just going to flip them over, season them up on the other side, let them set a bit. We're going to cook our onions, and then we'll cook them.
And was there a reason that you chose the turkey today?
I just thought it would be a healthier option. Ground beef, it's great, but the turkey's got a little bit more benefits. Red meat, everybody's kind of on that train where it's not real healthy for you.
Right.
You can eat it, but don't eat it every day.
Got it.
So this is just an alternative. We're trying to make things taste good that might be good for you,
This might be a nice light lunch option
Exactly.
for you.
And we got the avocado, we have tomato, we have lettuce, so we're trying to do it all. We're going to take the wax paper and just kind of flip it over.
Boom. Quick
What
trick.
you'll see is you got the other side now. We're going to go into the other side, kind of keep those together. Made them real thin so they'll cook quickly.
So fresh ground black pepper on these patties.
And fresh ground gives you really good flavor. It's totally different than the store-bought already ground. There's less stuff in it. It's just simple. And it gives you more of a, kind of like a little spicier flavor. We're going to move these around. We're caramelizing. We're getting some brown on there. We don't want to touch them too much.
Like it. I like it.
Okay. We're going to let these sit for a minute or two.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is we'll kind of, we'll cook them. They'll cook off pretty quick because look how thin we are. And that's why we did it. If you wanted to grill these, you can grill them. We're going to cook them on the burner. If you don't mind turning that burner on just to warm it up while we're waiting, that'd be great. But there's another element to our sandwich. We have the caramelized onion. That's always great. But we want more element than that. Use a little Magical Butter rubber spatula here just to mix things up. And that butter really helps it caramelize as well.
We want this on a medium heat here?
Yeah, about a medium heat for the burgers, just to get it warm, almost like you'd get the grill hot. That's what we're doing for that.
Excellent.
Leave that there, it's cooking. All right, we're gonna move on to our
I noticed you're using the Magical Butter spatula.
That's what I said, man, those are great, and you could see them. The other one, like when you got one at home, it's white, it gets all dirty. This one's nice, that lime green, it doesn't get stained. I like it.
bright.
All right, so here I have some just fresh mayonnaise. And what we're doing is we're going to make an aioli for our burgers.
Did you say aioli?
Aioli.
Oh, man. My mate down in Australia, Nate. Hello, Nathan. He loves aioli.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, garlic aioli to be specific.
Okay, it's going to be like a garlic aioli, except we're going to do a little bit of spice in there. And we're going to put some raw garlic rather than that roast garlic flavor.
Is this sriracha?
So I kind of made that myself. What it is it's piquillo peppers. I blended them. We put some hot sauce, some cayenne pepper, olive oil, and we just kind of got that smokiness from the piquillo peppers. We got a little bit of spice from the cayenne. The hot sauce has a little vinegar to it, and we're going to make our own aioli from it. I've never made it before, but it just looks delicious, and
looks
I think it'll be good.
You mind if I give it a little taste here?
Go ahead. That's going to be spicy, but once we add it to the mayo, it'll cool it down a little bit. It's got some flavor. It's got some flavor.
There. Yeah, it's going to have a nice balance.
All right, for the aioli, we're going to add paprika. People think paprika is spicy. That's the #1 lie. Just because it's red, it's not spicy. It's actually really smoky. It's got a smoked flavor to it.
You might find paprika on some deviled eggs or something, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. So we go in there. We're going to use that for the color. And this is like restaurant-style sauce. If you just put mayo, ketchup, mustard, it's kind of boring, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to wow people at your house or at a restaurant. We're going to do a couple of scoops of our spicy pepper because we do have some mayonnaise here, and we're going to mix it up.
And this is really going to complement the avocado we're going to be using as well.
We got that creamy avocado, and I'm going to actually do a little bit of like a smashed avocado almost, so that we add another layer with some lime and maybe a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper. So this is a little pink color here. We're going to do fresh ground pepper. And then we're going to do a little bit of salt. In there, right under the lime, is a lemon. You mind grabbing that for me? I'm going to do a shot of lemon in here. That'd be excellent. We don't want to burn our onions, so we'll go ahead and keep moving them. We've got our brown color, so I'm going to go ahead and go down to like 4.
They're starting to smell so delicious.
Oh, yeah. We're going to stew them low and slow. I'm going to add a little bit more butter on this. Go in here with a little bit more butter and just let that kind of meld in. We got salt and pepper in our aioli. And then I got a garlic that's peeled. And I have this little garlic press. I love these garlic presses. You don't have to sit here and cut garlic. It's all sticky. Just press it through, take the back of your knife,
boom,
and you just slide it right in there.
That reminds me of when you're a little kid playing with Play-Doh.
Oh, yeah.
And you press it through.
Squeezing, yeah, and it'll make the hair. Yeah, that was cool. Now, you guys been traveling a lot. I've been following Magical Butter, and last couple of months, looks like you guys been all over.
Man, it's been nonstop. A lot of fun. Got to go to Vegas and
very cool.
Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been doing a lot. It's been exciting.
All right, so we got garlic, lemon, salt, pepper. We got that spicy kind of pepper sauce. I'll put that back over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste just to check out what we got going on in here.
And this is like one of those gourmet aioli sauces that you'll find in some of those fancier restaurants.
Yeah, why don't you give that a taste right there?
Let's try this out.
That's good. That's going to go on our buns.
Ooh, that is perfect.
That'll kind of complement, like you said, that avocado and all that fun stuff.
A little bit of spicy mayo there.
All right, so if you guys are just tuning in, we're doing some turkey sliders. What we've done is we seasoned up some turkey patties, made them really small because we're going to layer them on these little mini slider buns. We made an aioli, and we have caramelized onions working. Next, we're going to go ahead and cook the turkey sliders, and then we'll finish them with some cheese and avocado, lettuce, tomato, and we'll do that while it's cooking. I turned this up to like a medium-high heat now.
Okay.
We want to see some smoke. Once we see smoke, then we're ready to put them in. I want it to caramelize on the outside. It's called a Maillard reaction. We're going to get that nice and brown on there.
It's important, though, that your pan is already at that temperature.
Yes, because if you put all these in and it's not hot, you're going to have gray meat. We don't want gray meat. We want that brown, delicious, because you get flavor, too. It's not just for the presentation. It's for the flavor.
The little bit of char that'll happen.
It's
just
it's like we don't have the grill here today, but this will give it a similar flavor. So if you guys can see at home, we see some smoke coming in here. So we're going to go ahead and lay these guys in.
When I think of sliders, man, the first thing I think of is White Castle.
Oh, love White Castle.
Of course.
You order White Castle like you're buying drugs.
It's
a 20 sack of chicken rings and 30 burgers and
it's crazy. And it sounds nuts to order 30, but they're so little and cute and small.
Listen, their chicken rings are really where it's at. I love it. I love White Castle.
Shout out to White Castle. Shout out to Harold and Kumar. Today we're creating turkey sliders here with Chef Michael Scarpa. We got the turkey burgers in the pan, Now we're moving to the tomato.
We're gonna do little circles of tomatoes. I think we're doing 6 sliders.
6 sliders.
So I'm gonna go ahead and cut 6 circles of tomato. The thinner the better. 4.
Perfect.
And we're doing them nice and thin. Now when you get to the end and you're feeling nervous, just go ahead and lay it down. Lay your hands up like that, and boom, go right across.
You know, it's crazy because a lot of traditional cheeseburgers or sandwiches in general, you'll notice that they always have lettuce, tomato, and onion. Those are like the main 3.
Staple.
Where did that come from?
I'm not sure, but I think it's a good mix. You know, you got the green, you got the red. The tomato's kind of a little bit watery, but it gives it that little flavor to it. I'm going to season them up with some salt. We're cutting Vermont cheddar here. Again, one of my favorite cheeses. We're doing like thick slices.
Very sharp cheese.
Oh yeah, it's real good. It's going to give it another dimension. Our turkey burgers are browning. Our onions are browning. We're doing good.
We are doing well here. I'm
so
loving
we got
it.
6. I'm doing 6 slices of cheddar. And I buy the brick. I don't like buying it sliced already. I like them nice and thick. And when you bite into it, get that
when you
cheese.
cut your cheese fresh, it's got a way better texture.
I think so.
You know?
I think so. Especially the ones that are already pre-cut for you. Now, if you're going to a supermarket and you get them sliced right there, that's good.
That's always nice.
I'm going to add a little bit of water in there. What that's going to do is kind of steam up a little bit. We'll turn it back to high. We'll let it boil. Our turkey burgers are cooking. Now, turkey is not like beef. You have to cook turkey all the way.
Okay.
So we have to cook it to 165.
So when you order a turkey slider, the waiter's not saying, what temperature would you like that?
Exactly.
It's well done every time.
Yes. We're going to press them down a little bit. See how brown we're getting?
Beautiful.
We get a nice Maillard reaction there on there.
Little turkey coins here.
And now that we got like the brown on there and the pan's hot, we're going to go ahead and turn it down. If you don't mind just putting it down to like, let's say 5 or 6.
You got it.
Let them finish. And they're going to cook quick. Again, they're real thin. So I'm going to break these chunks. And they're thick pieces of cheese, so they're going to take a while to kind of
melt down
a little bit. So I'll put them on there. We don't want it to be dry.
Wow, so we got our caramelized onions, we have our little turkey burger sliders, and some fresh Vermont cheddar cheese on top.
Oh yeah, now I got butter lettuce. This lettuce is grown hydroponically as well.
Magical butter lettuce.
Oh yeah, this is magic. It's $3 a head, but it is magic. It tastes like you're eating a buttery piece of lettuce.
Let's try it.
Go ahead, dig in there. I mean, it's awesome. I love it. And they kind of just fit right into our bun. So we're going to do
a lot. It's like a mix between, you know, baby spinach and some iceberg or something.
Exactly.
It's very good.
Okay, I'm going to add a little water
refreshing.
Here. And what the water's going to do is it's going to steam our burgers and melt that cheese.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And that's what we got going. All right, so we got our lettuce set up. We got our burgers almost ready. Now we're going to cut our buns and we're going to toast the buns actually in that same pan that we have our turkey in.
Beautiful.
So we're kind of using one pot because why use more than one pot here? We don't want to do the dishes and it makes life easier.
So we got our little, are these Hawaiian?
Oh yeah, Hawaiian
sweet rolls.
So like I said, I like having all the senses in the meal, right? We're gonna smell everything, we're gonna taste everything. We got sweet, we got spicy, we got creamy, it's gonna be excellent.
So you're gonna want to get some mini little slider buns. You can bake some biscuits or go buy some little mini buns, but today we're using these Hawaiian sweet rolls. These
sweet rolls.
Just a classic.
They're so good. All right, I'm gonna come around here. Our cheese is kind of melting real nice. It's not fully melted, but we're going to kind of give it some time off to the side.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn this back to maybe 6 or 7. I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan, and then we're going to toast these up. These are going to toast quickly. Like you said, they're sweet, so they have sugar in them.
Got it.
So we'll take all the bottoms first, and then we'll start building after they come out.
Beautiful.
Take all of our bottoms. You can do these on the grill as well, but they brown quickly, so just keep an eye on them.
So we're going to do a quick toast on the bun. It's that extra little step that really is going to bring out a nice crunchiness in your bread.
And also, yeah, if you've been to a restaurant and you bite into a cold
piece of
bun,
bread, it's no fun.
It's not
nothing
good.
exciting. You want a buttery, toasted bun. Like, that's always the best.
That's what we're looking for. That is what we're looking for. I'm going to move these spices so we can plate up pretty easily.
So we got our spicy aioli here that you've created, our butter lettuce, fresh sliced tomatoes, the Vermont cheddar cheese on the turkey burger. This is amazing.
I'm going to take these burgers out because they are finished. We're going to let them just kind of sit. The cheese isn't all the way melted, but I'm okay with that. We could pop them in the oven, but we don't want to overcook them. So we're going to take them out. We're going to check our buns. Boom, they're done.
Those are happening quickly.
We're going to put those right here. You could do these in the oven as well. everything could be done in the oven.
Right.
But I just like cooking right here. It's easier.
On a hot pan, hot skillet there.
Okay, we're gonna get the rest of these guys out.
Look at these cute little turkey burgers.
Oh yeah.
These are fun.
And we're gonna use a skewer to kind of keep the burgers together.
Okay.
And that's good for parties and stuff because you don't want people spilling all over. You don't want them having trouble kind of keeping everything together.
It's like a bite-sized little handheld food for a party.
Our onions are looking excellent. We're gonna leave that on 6, that's cool.
Perfect.
All right, so we're gonna do our aioli right on the bottom.
All right.
We're gonna go 6 of them. So at a restaurant, when you're doing orders, you gotta go quick. You gotta be consistent. Everything's gotta look the same.
Create like almost an assembly line real
Exactly, that's what we're doing, is like an assembly line. You don't want too much sauce.
quick. Too much sauce.
We don't want too much sauce.
No. Just enough. See, that one had too much.
Yeah, I had to take a little bit off there. We'll put these right down on the plate.
Time to assemble, y'all.
2, 4, 6.
Stacking these up.
Just like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and take these off.
The bun tops are fully toasted.
And you mind shutting that for me? Thank you, sir. Okay, so we're ready to plate. The only things we gotta do now is we gotta do a little bit of avocado. So, I'm gonna take some avocado with a little glass bowl right here.
This is gonna be exciting to see you.
Gotta have a ripe avocado.
How can you tell if an avocado is ripe?
It's gonna be soft and it's gonna be dark in color.
Okay.
Now, if you take a look at this one, I bought this one this morning, but feel it.
It looks
it's
kinda
really
mushy.
Now feel this one. You got a nice texture on it. It gives it a little bit of pushback. That's the one we want to use. I think if I cut this one open, it's gonna be black.
So,
Might be too far gone. Let's check it out.
You're looking for soft, but not too soft.
It's just like a banana.
A little bit of firmness.
You know what? This one actually looks good. We're gonna use it.
Cool.
It is really soft,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes that works out good. Sometimes it gets black. Sometimes it's kind of nice and green, and that's what we got here. And this just falls right out, the seed.
Perfect.
We'll go right in.
National Avocado Day was yesterday. We're using some of this avocado today on our little turkey sliders.
Oh yeah, healthy fat. That's what we're looking for. Healthy
perfect.
fat. Okay, I got a fork in here. I'm gonna put some olive oil.
Do you ever cook with avocado oil?
Oh yeah, I usually do dressings with it.
Uh-huh.
I don't typically cook with it. I usually cook with like canola or veggie. But the avocado oil I think adds good flavor for dressings and salads and things like that. Okay, salt, pepper, olive oil, and I'm gonna do some lime juice again. Tie in that kind of, it's almost like a Tex-Mex kind of thing we're doing here. We got a little spice,
guacamole.
Yep.
Yeah, like a Southwest
exactly.
inspiration.
We're gonna mix it up. And I don't like doing slices. I just think that they're kind of bland. You don't want bland slices of avocado on there. You want a little bit of flavor on there.
Yeah.
So we'll mix it up, and we're just smashing it. We're not gonna make like a full guacamole here.
Right.
We just want it to be flavorful.
Chunky puree almost.
What I do every morning is we have some eggs, we have some tater tots, and we have avocado. That's pretty much, breakfast potatoes or tater tots. That's our breakfast typically.
Healthy.
Yep. Healthy fat is not bad. And this is gonna act almost like a base. It's gonna hold everything in place because it's kind of sticky. So we go avocado.
Look at this. Beautiful.
Avocado.
And that cool, sweet flavor of the avocado is gonna blend so well with that spicy chipotle aioli you've created there.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move lettuce, tomato. So I'm gonna rip this butter lettuce. We'll do that on top though. So I'm gonna put one layer, and then we're gonna do tomato and some lettuce. And this butter lettuce is quite big, so
It's large.
We'll just lay it on there. We'll do a little bit more sauce on here, so that you get a little bit of sauce at every bite. And then make sure we're not pushing over. Put our skewer inside. And you could just kind of pick it up just like this and put it on a plate if you were at like, a little party or something like that.
Right.
But it just works out pretty good. So we'll just keep building, keep building.
These are the perfect little handheld sliders.
Now don't let me forget these.
Oh man, you forgot the onions, bro.
The best part.
Jeez.
So we'll take a little bit of the onions. You don't want to overpower it. We'll go right on top.
Perfect.
And there
so
we go.
we made the first one with no onions.
Yep.
Sometimes you got people who don't like
exactly.
onions,
So you know
we'll cater to everyone.
We cater to everybody.
Have it your way
wasn't
here
a
at the
mistake.
Magical Butter Kitchen.
Yeah, it's like you're at Burger King.
Way better than Burger King.
Way better.
You are the slider king for sure, though. You're killing this.
This one I'm gonna do a double. So you can do a double on it. It really, you could do whatever you'd like.
So we got that
lettuce.
Smashed avocado, the chipotle aioli, the butter lettuce, the tomato, the cheddar cheese, caramelized onion. This is a gourmet experience in your mouth. Look at that. Just one little bite-sized meal. I know Dalton is drooling behind the camera. He's ready to eat some of these things.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna put these up here so everybody can see them a little bit better.
Perfect. Look at the colors, guys.
And we're gonna keep going. We're just building, building, building. I did one double, so that's for the big guy.
Ooh.
And then some singles. We did some without onion, some with onion. But these are just cute little appetizer item. And you could do it with beef, you could do it with pork, you could do it with anything. Lamb, ground lamb, spice it up real good. You could even do it with ground sausage. That might be good too. Kind of like a sausage and pepper. Got a little bit of sauce on top. And the sauce you can use for French fries, tater tots, really anything. It's versatile aioli.
I know my mate Nathan puts that aioli on everything.
The garlic aioli is where it's at, because even in Lebanese cooking, they do like a garlic puree, kind of like an aioli. Oh man, it goes on everything.
This one, that's why they call it a slider. It slid right off the bun there.
All right, so we'll put these up front, and those are ready to dig in on. So we got, again.
Look, I see you got one extra here.
Yeah, come on, let's dig in.
Maybe we can split that one, me and you.
Let's taste it.
Don't tell nobody. Here, let's get a little chipotle deal.
That's money.
That is delicious.
And that doesn't have any of the guac on it, doesn't have the onions on it. But that's the real deal.
That's excellent. So, if you were gonna serve this as like an appetizer, it would probably come with what, three sliders?
Yeah, I think 3 sliders, maybe a little side of chips on there, and then a little dipping sauce on the side you can dip in. I think it's quick, it's easy. You buy the buns, you don't have to worry about making those. You make a little bit of sauce. The sauce took us 5 minutes. Everything really 10, 15 minutes, you can have a finished meal.
That was awesome.
So let's recap a little bit for those just joining us. I'm Chef Mike Scarpa. I'm here at the Magical Butter Studios. Super excited to be here. We got a watermelon salad with feta, and you can see all that juice kind of just sitting. That's what I was saying before. Watermelon salad with feta, cucumber, mint, basil, a little spicy jalapeno. And then we have some turkey sliders. We did Vermont cheddar. We did smoked paprika and kind of spicy aioli. We did guacamole almost. And then we did caramelized onion on top, a little butter, lettuce, and tomato. And man, did it come out good. We just had the turkey burger, and we're gonna dig in on those soon.
Perfect, man. That is delicious, quick, easy recipes. You saw it here with Chef Michael Scarpa. We've got a lot more recipes you're gonna be creating today. You said we're gonna be making later on some chimichurri sauce.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna do some steak, some skirt steak. So it's a cheaper cut of meat, but we're gonna make it delicious. It's making a comeback. And we're gonna do it with fingerling potatoes, caramelized onions as well. We're gonna caramelize them in the oven this time, so we'll see the difference.
Got it.
And then we're gonna do some green beans with that. And we're making chimichurri sauce inside of our Magical Butter machine. And we're gonna whip that up and kind of place it on top of the steak. And then we're gonna do a spaghetti squash with turkey meatballs. So we're gonna use that ground turkey again because we don't wanna waste anything. And we're gonna do spaghetti squash. It's gonna come out just like spaghetti. It's gonna be nice and al dente. And then we're gonna do tomato sauce on top of that.
Wow. Man, so we got a full show packed full of delicious cuisine. Chef Michael Scarpa is going to be here in the kitchen with us all day long. We got a full menu coming at you guys. Right now, we're going to send it over to my man, Customer Service Kenny. Congratulations to Kenny Contreras. He received the Employee of the Month award yesterday for the month of July.
Oh, man.
He really just killed it. We're so proud of him. He's going to be joining us right here today to be showing people how to clarify their butter. And also a few little tricks on how to separate those milk fats.
So you got the Employee of the Month showing them how to do the butter. That's nice. That'd be cool.
People are calling. They're asking, frequently asked questions about clarifying butter. So yeah, we just wanted to clear some of that up. Do you ever clarify butter in your kitchen?
Yeah. So what we typically do in our kitchen is we take the butter and we put it in this item called a bain-marie. It's almost like a silver thing. We cover it. Then what you do is you put a pot of water on the stove and you place it inside. And you kind of let it boil, and then that steam kind of warms the butter and it naturally separates. And then you can cool it and then remove the butter milk fats on top as well. Or you can warm the butter up and go ahead and take it off. Use a cheesecloth and kind of strain it through. That works as well. There's a couple different ways to do it, but clarified butter is really good to cook with, and I'm sure it's good to infuse. Just because it's a pure butter, you're not working with those milk solids.
Yep.
So that'll be a cool demo.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you guys stay tuned. We're gonna go check in with Kenny next door and find out more about clarifying butter. We're gonna bring it back in the kitchen with Chef Michael Scarpa after that. Yo, Kenny, what's going on?
Oh, what's going on? Hey guys. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chef.
Thanks.
Chef Mike, man, everything looks wonderful over there. So I'm joining you guys today. Going to show you a little bit, some ways to clarify the butter. Do appreciate you guys hanging with us. So if you guys don't know basically what the clarified butter is, it's removing the dairy. It's removing the dairy products, the dairy fats and solids from the butter. And what that does, for one, it's going to actually lengthen the shelf life on your butter. So when you infuse your product, you can keep it. The shelf life is going to be a little longer. And it also is going to remove the dairy products that burn and could scorch at a lower temperature. So that's what you see usually when it's smoking, when you're cooking with it. So clarified butter is really good. It tolerates heat very well. So it's definitely recommended. We recommend to use clarified butter when you're using the Magical Butter machine to infuse in. So we'll get started. Basically what I have here, you could use a double boiler method so you don't burn it. But what I'm going to do today is just use this little heating plate here, and it'll be just as good. So let's get started. We got some nice quality butter. You want to use an unsalted butter. The salt in the butter, I don't think it's really best when you're using it to infuse with, just because the butter is already going to be, the salt's already going to be infused in it. It could interfere with the infusion of your botanicals. It also could, degrade or eat away at some of the medicine with the salt. It could be corrosive to some of those ingredients. So you definitely want to get unsalted, a high quality, usually like a European butter, something like that. So here we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is melting pretty fast in here. I'm going to try to chop it up a little bit to speed up that process. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, you could always give us a call. So here we go. Man, this food looks great. I can't wait to try some of that later. All right, so basically what you want to do is melt down your butter. If you're using like a double boiler method, you're going to ensure that you're not going to burn it or scorch it. But with this, I just do it on a real low heat setting. I'm going to melt down the butter. What it's going to do is the dairy fats are going to rise to the top. And, there's a few ways that you can do it, but this way seems to be pretty easy. It just might be a little time consuming. I know you can buy clarified butter already. It's called, well, I guess ghee is different than clarified butter because the ghee is going to not have any of the water content in it as well. Basically with butter, you're going to have three components. You have the butter fats itself, the dairy solids, and you're also going to have water in there. So really you want to remove the water and the dairy to just get just the butter fat, which is 100% fat, and that's going to be very, very great when it comes to infusing, because when it comes to using cannabis in extracting, the cannabinoids are fat soluble, not water soluble. So you want to use a fat. That's why like a butter, oil, things like that are usually recommended. So we're about halfway there, melting down. And while we're letting this melt down, I guess we could talk a little bit about football. Football's coming up. We got the first preseason game this weekend. I think it's the Hall of Fame game. I'm pretty excited about that. I think it's the Ravens and I forget who the other team is, but I'm ready to see Lamar Jackson go at it. So he plays for the Ravens. He was a first-round draft pick. He's a quarterback, and I'm just a fan of his. So I'm really hoping that he becomes a great star in the NFL. But another thing I wanted to talk about too, if you guys are interested in fantasy football, I know I've talked about it a few times, but I'm looking to start up a little league just for the users and people that watch the show. So if you guys are interested, I'll have some more information on that. I'll probably post it to our Magical Butter Facebook page with how to enter in that. So we'll probably have like a 12-person league or something like that, and we'll have some cool prizes at the end of the season. So we're getting ready to do that. So right now we're almost there, melting down. We appreciate you guys watching with us, hanging out. All right. So once it's all melted down, you're going to see some of the dairy products, dairy fats, so solids start rising up to the top. The first thing you could do is just skim off. I'm going to turn this up once, get a little going. You don't want to burn it. You want to take your time and do this, but I'll just turn it up today. And try not to stir it either to disturb any of the fat. So you'll start to see soon that it'll start bubbling up. And that's what we want. And what we have here, I'm going to show you. We do have, this is our complete set that we have to offer of all of our filter bags. So these are really great when you're done filtering, no matter what you're using in the machine. And you want to filter out if you're using like the flour, if you're using the keef, or the, you know, something like a hash or something that's more granular and fine. You want to use a filter bag that's going to be a smaller micron, so you can filter out all of those particles.
How does the microns work?
So with the microns, it's the one that comes with the machine's a 190. And here it is right here. So this one comes with the machine, and this one, the micron, the bigger the number, the bigger the hole is for the filtering. So the 190 is good for you know, filtering thicker extractions like butters and oils. So we have, I'll go through, and we have a 220, a 190, a 90, 73, and 25. And so the smaller the number, the finer. So if you look at this 25 here, very, very fine. You know, you can you know, filter out just about anything out of there. So it will take a little longer time, but it's really very useful. And all right, so you can see here that we're starting to get some of the separation of the dairy. All right, maybe I'll use this big guy here and start skimming off. So yeah, you basically just want to skim off. One thing that you're going to have to account for is that you will get some loss. So there's a 2-cup minimum in the machine. So when it comes to clarifying your butter, you know, if you use 2 cups, which is 4 sticks, a pound of butter, and you clarify it yourself, you're going to have some loss. So you're going to have to account for that. You might want to use, you know, 4.5 sticks if you're using 2 cups. And let me turn this back down to 2. And so this is just, you could see there, Dirty's got me up there on the screen. So this is just going to help out, make it a little more, you know, this really helps out with people that are, you know, can't really deal with the dairy too much. So you would use this clarified. I remember doing this in restaurants all the time. I guess this is what they use. It's good for sauteing, high heat cooking. All right. So at this point, you don't have to get it all out. We're going to, I'm actually going to shut this off right now. You can see it start to bubble a little bit, and I think that some of the water is starting to evaporate away. But we'll turn it off right now. And since they all pretty much form to the top, just keep skimming. Maybe do a little action like this. Oh yeah. You see all that foamy frothiness? That's all the dairy fats that's getting off. And they do have a low burning, scorching point, so you know, we definitely recommend to remove this. You know, you can use unclarified butter, or you know, just normal unclarified butter, but you might have some issues with it burning or getting kind of like a burnt taste to it, and no one really wants that. So this is pretty much like pure gold. It's golden goodness. And I did hear some rumors about butter, but I'm not going to spread those. So. All right, so we're pretty much there now. We got all the most of the foaminess out. Just want to let that sit just for a second. Probably don't really need to let it sit. Usually, whenever I clarify, I use the 90 micron, and that does just a great job. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to stack these on. I've never done it before, but I'm going to cascade them, so it gives it like, you know, a filter-through effect. So I'm using the 90, and I'll use the maybe I'll use the 25. How about that? What do you think? What do you think, Dalton?
25 is pretty fine.
All right, so we're just going to go for it right now. So I got my nice little bowl here, and you could use our filter bag, and you can get these filter bags are available. We do have the 4-pack that comes, and that's going to be the 220 micron, a 73, and a 25. We do sell the 190 and the 90 micron standalone, so you can get those on our stores. I believe they're $12.95. And they're reusable mesh nylon bags. They're very, very, very useful. You could use them for a number of things. All right, so let's go ahead here. You should let it sit a little bit and let that stuff solidify back down. But I don't think there's any need for that right now, because we got these awesome bags. All right. There we go. Give that a little shakeroo. You can see there all that pure golden goodness making its way through. And this one takes a little longer because I do have that 25 micron in there. The 25 micron bag is really good if you're using like like hash or keef or something, and you want to get all that that fine granules out of your extraction. All right. All right. So that was two sticks of butter. All right, and it seems like some of it burned away, but that's basically it right there. And just get a little more in there. And then you could transfer this into a jar or save it. And like I said, it does have a longer shelf life, so you can keep that for a lot longer. All right. All right, and that was clarifying butter with Kenny. Thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. If you guys have any other tips, or if you have any questions or anything, feel free to give us a call. Our phone number is 1-800-420-4334. And we're here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and that's Eastern time. All right, so we're going to send it back over to Chef Mike. He's got some awesome deliciousness coming up today. And we really enjoy you guys hanging with us, and stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Take it away, Mike.
Kenny, we appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much to customer service Kenny, giving us the walkthrough on how to clarify butter. Those filter bags are awesome. So instead of using the cheesecloth, he used the micron bags today.
And it seems like it works really well to get that clarified butter. It's a quicker way than the way that we do it in the kitchen. Ours takes hours to kind of let that butter separate naturally, whereas you're kind of forcing it with it. You just got to watch it, make sure you're not burning it. But yeah, that'll definitely work.
Awesome. So we started off the show really strong. We made that watermelon salad and the turkey slider burgers. Now, what's the next recipe on the menu?
Yeah, so next what we're going to do is we're going to do a spaghetti squash. So it's like spaghetti, you'll see. It's a natural spaghetti-looking vegetable, and we're going to roast it in the oven. We're going to serve that with turkey meatballs. We got a little mixed-in turkey sausage, like Italian sausage, but made with turkey.
Got it.
We're going to mix that in, make the meatballs. We're going to make a tomato sauce to go on top, kind of coat it, and then we're going to serve it just like you serve spaghetti meatballs at home. A big plate of it with some Parmesan cheese on top, a little bit of parsley and basil. It's going to be delicious.
So instead of like, pasta with all the gluten and the wheat and things, you're using the spaghetti squash as an alternative.
Yeah. And I'm a chef instructor, and the biggest thing is trying to get my students, whether they're adults or kids, to eat vegetables and to understand like it actually tastes good. And I've done this quite a few times for classes, and people love the spaghetti squash. After they get their mind over it, it's not spaghetti, but it tastes like spaghetti, they're into it. So let's get started.
Awesome.
Spaghetti squash, very hard kind of squash. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove one side, which is the top. We're going to kind of turn it.
Look at that.
And go right through.
And your knife is sharp. And
yes.
It seems like you're struggling a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It's a really hard squash, but once you cook it, it gets tender. We cut both sides.
Uh-huh.
And then what we do is we stand it up again. I always like to stand it up. And then we get right through the middle we want to go. And we just kind of push down and work our knife all the way down.
Look at that.
And go right through.
Awesome.
And then we open it up. And then you'll see you have seeds in here.
Okay.
And what we want to do is we want to remove the seeds. So I'm going to take like an ice cream scooper almost. I'm going to get my garbage out here. Then I'm just going to take my seeds and kind of just scoop them.
So most of the seeds are right in the center there.
All right in the center. You don't want to go too deep because then you start getting the actual squash.
The meat.
Yeah, you don't want to lose any meat.
These almost look like pumpkin seeds.
They are. They do look like pumpkin seeds. This doesn't have a similar texture to it, but it does kind of look like a pumpkin, like a smaller version of a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Inside, because even when you're used to it at home, it kind of smells the same too, right? When you're doing like jack-o'-lanterns and stuff like that.
It's got that same.
It's got that same little consistency to it. So we get all those seeds out. And then all we're going to do is we're going to just season the outside of it with salt and pepper and some olive oil. And it's a really simple recipe. And everybody I show this to, mostly adults, I mean, they cook this, once a week from now on, and they never used it before. But once you see it, you see how easy it is, it just becomes something you use all the time.
And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I eat pasta, I love it, but there's a little bit of guilt going on because you know
Yes.
that it's not the healthiest thing, a big bowl of pasta shells. So this is an alternative that you can be proud of and feel good about when you
Exactly. If you're trying to eat a little bit healthier, trying to watch the gluten, if you're having inflammation or you're having pain and things like that, go ahead and try this and don't eat so much wheat processed wheat really just cause a lot of inflammation.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to stay away from.
So this is real simple. You just covered it with salt, pepper, and olive oil.
That's it, and we're going to go right in the oven, 350. Thank you, sir. Pop that guy in.
Wham.
It's going to cook 10, 15 minutes, and the way we're going to check it is fork tender. That's what we're looking for. If it goes through easily with the fork, it's ready to go.
Got it.
Okay? All right, so we're going to move on to our turkey meatballs. And what I have here again is a mix of turkey. So we have turkey breast, which is the light colored, almost opaque. And then we have a turkey leg and thigh, a little darker. And then this is a turkey that I bought at the supermarket that's ground with Italian spices, like almost like you're making Italian sausage, but with turkey meat.
Got it.
All raw, not cooked. And we're going to go ahead and mix everything into it, and it's going to taste really good. We're going to do an egg, just one. We can always add another one, but we don't want it to be too wet. We're going to add ricotta cheese.
I like how you say that.
Yeah, ricotta.
And so you're putting ricotta right into your meatball.
Oh yeah, that's going to add. What you see in turkey is it's a lot drier, less fat than like beef and pork and veal. So we want to add a little bit more moisture in there. And cheese, you know, it's got protein. It's got fat in it, but it's delicious, and I think it'll really help it out. Parmesan cheese. Then we're going to take our little garlic press, and we'll go ahead and squeeze garlic in there. Another one. So we'll do 2 or 3 garlic cloves, nothing too crazy, just to add that background flavor. And then we'll do salt and pepper. I'll use the back of my knife again to kind of scrape that down.
Wow, look at that.
Easy. We're going to do a little bit of chili flakes. We don't want it to be spicy, but we want a little background heat. I'm going to move over here. I see some water boiling. I'm going to lower it down just a little bit. We're going to use our boiling water later for some green beans. Okay, ricotta, salt, pepper. The only thing that's left is some herbs. So we'll take some parsley, and we have them right here, easily accessed, just kind of ready to be picked. Basil.
We got the turkey breast. You got some Italian turkey ground up, and some was that
turkey leg and thigh.
Turkey leg and thigh.
Yep.
All going to be mixed together, coming together for some turkey meatballs.
Yep. The turkey meatballs are just they're going to taste just like regular meatballs. I promise. We're not making it too healthy on everybody, but it's going to have good, bold flavor. We're going to brown it really good so you get that, again, that Maillard reaction. That's going to give it that flavor that we're looking for. And these herbs are going to add just a little bit of freshness to it.
A little bit of basil in there.
Basil and parsley.
Perfect.
We just kind of place it inside. And I'm going to go ahead and warm up my burner here so that way once we start scooping, we can just start going right into the pan.
Boom, just like that.
I have some Pam in there because it's a stainless steel pot.
Got it.
Stainless steel, you'll see that things like to stick to it. So I'm going to put some oil, and I did a little Pam spray or any cooking spray you got at home. I'm going to do a little pepper.
That's a good tip for y'all cooking with stainless steel at home. Make sure you guys use a cooking spray and a little bit of light olive oil. You don't want your meat to be cooked.
Yeah, you don't want to burn it because we're going to use that to make the actual tomato sauce too.
We've had that happen in the past.
Yeah, it just kind of gets stuck on there.
Yeah,
stainless steel is the best to cook with. Chefs love stainless steel, but you have to be careful. You can't really use metal on stainless steel because you're going to scratch the pan.
Right.
And you got to be careful about that sticking. All right, so butternut squash, spaghetti squash is in the oven.
About 10 or 15 minutes.
Yep, and we're going to mix this up and create kind of like an emulsion almost.
Look at
we want it to be fully emulsified and fully just mixed.
We got fresh herbs, the ricotta cheese. You got an egg in there, some ground Parmesan.
Yep,
garlic.
We did a little bit of background heat as well with the chili flake.
Oh yeah.
And we just did a little bit of that in there. Just adds a little bit of something to it, you know.
Light, crisp, light fluffiness on these meatballs.
So these are going to be super moist, and they're, like you said, they're going to be light, fluffy. You don't want to overmix, but you want to make sure it's all coated. All that meat is all mixed up. Italian sausage got that flavor in there. So
beautiful.
And now I'm going to take my gloves off. I don't like wearing gloves. This is getting hot. I'm going to turn it up now that we're ready. And what we'll start doing is we'll just go ahead and scooping meatballs. And we'll kind of get off the side so they're all even. And we'll go right in.
And that's awesome. Using a scoop, you're going to really get a consistent ball size.
We're looking for consistency because we want them to all cook the same.
Yep.
And again, these are going to be different than your traditional beef meatballs that they're not going to have to cook as long. They're going to have to be fully cooked, but we don't want them to dry out. So we're going to cook them just until they're cooked, and then we're going to go ahead and add the tomato sauce and kind of stew them a little bit.
And look how easy this is. He's just effortlessly scooping these little turkey balls right into the pan, They're cooking as soon as they land.
And we're going to start browning them up. Now, of course, you can make them a little bit more circular by scooping them and then molding them with your hands.
Right.
But I think these will come out just fine.
Yeah.
They got a little flat bottom on them.
And if little chunks fall off, it'll just turn it into a meat sauce.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Perfect.
And we're going to add our sauce after these start browning. That's always want to brown your sauce first. That's the first thing you learn when you're making Italian food is tomato sauce. And you got to make sure the meat is brown before you put it in. Because if it's not brown, you're just not going to get that flavor. That flavor is everything, I think.
And then there's no guarantee that the meat is cooked thoroughly once, once the sauce is in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and clean up my board just a little bit because we got a lot of seasoning all over it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some garlic ready for the next kind of step. After these are cooked, we're going to throw some garlic inside, kind of toast it up and add some freshness to this tomato sauce that we've already made.
Beautiful.
Tomato sauce that has basil and onion and garlic. So just like a traditional pomodoro sauce or marinara sauce, things like that. But we're going to kind of doctor it up a little bit so it really tastes good. You'll see these are starting to brown. You know, we might need is a little bit of olive oil. And you'll notice that we didn't put any breadcrumbs in here.
I did notice, yeah.
So,
a lot of times people will put breadcrumbs in their meatballs.
It'll make them a little more dense, I think.
Yeah.
And it'll just make them a little more heavy. And we didn't do the spaghetti for a reason. We're going to stick with that reason. We'll see how it comes out by itself.
So yeah, like if you've substituted your pasta for spaghetti squash, why add breadcrumbs to your turkey meatballs? It's just counterproductive there.
So we got our meatballs going here.
Some of them stuck, but that's okay. They still look delicious.
That was the hot spot, so I'm going to try to turn it so that way we get a little hot spot over here.
One thing we know about induction cooking, it's very hot, right?
Yes.
It's precise.
And it cooks quickly.
Quick and hot.
Yep. So we're just moving them around. We're making sure we're browning. We did spray the pan, but we are getting some sticking. Hey, no one's perfect.
Hey, no worries.
All you're going to do is you're going to take with your tongs and just kind of scrape it, and we'll add the sauce later. And it'll just be just kind of part of the sauce. It'll be delicious.
Turkey meat sauce.
Yep.
So these are turkey sausage meatballs that Chef Michael Scarpa is making right now. We've got fresh herbs, a little bit of ricotta, some garlic. Really amazing.
All right.
Light.
Letting them cook. Okay, so we're going to move on to our garlic. We just want to make sure those weren't sticking and we're all good. We'll put the garlic here. And we're just going to kind of set up maybe 2 or 3 cloves of it. Just get it ready to go into the pan once those are cooked.
Beautiful. Thank you to everybody at home tuning in. We have Chef Michael Scarpa here, cooking live in the Magical Butter kitchen. We have people tuning in from all over the world. Thank you so much to all of our viewers. We got people all the way as far as Serbia.
Really?
Yeah, man, it's all over. So they're loving what you're making today.
I've been watching lately too because I got it on Instagram and Facebook, and you guys are always cooking up good stuff, so I'm glad to be here.
It's exciting to be a part of that. You know, we try to showcase all different types of chefs, and you're definitely an eclectic, talented individual. We're very proud to bring you in a second time here.
Awesome.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, man. All right, here. I'm going to go ahead and transfer these turkey meatballs to a little tray.
Okay.
We've got some color on them, and we're going to finish them in the oven. And that oven that we have here is at like 350, 375. It's going to be real hot. They're going to brown up real nicely in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some garlic in here and kind of deglaze the pan a little bit.
Okay.
And we got all those little extra bits that kind of fell off the turkey meatballs. That's all good. We're going to put these into the oven.
Perfect.
And those are going to kind of toast up.
So you want to start the meatballs in a pan, get them nice and brown.
Get them brown.
Finish them in the oven.
And now I'm going to scrape off the bottom here. And we got all that extra kind of
meaty goodness.
Exactly. Meaty goodness is a good word for it.
We're
going to go in with our garlic.
Perfect.
We're going to go in with our garlic. We got our spaghetti squash cooking. 10 to 15 minutes on that. So we got time.
And that was, I mean, I would say making spaghetti squash is easier than making pasta.
Yep,
probably,
cut it in half, season it up, and you're good to go. Now we're going to start smelling this garlic. We still don't have smell-o-vision, but once we get it, you guys are going to be
we're working on
getting hungry, getting hungry.
4D.
Right?
All right, so got our pan nice and hot with some garlic, a little bit of the meat remnants from our turkey meatballs.
We're going to get some more herbs here because you can't ever have enough herbs, right?
Hey, We know about that.
I know you guys know about
Never
that.
have enough herbs.
We got some parsley, some basil, and we're going to use that to like top the sauce and kind of in the sauce while it's cooking. We want to see the garlic brown before we add the sauce because you don't want any raw garlic flavor in the actual sauce.
Garlic, I know, is tricky because, you know, it will burn quickly, right?
Yes.
So you want it brown, but you don't want to burn it.
We're going to control the heat, and that's kind of what we're doing. All right, now we're going to go in with our tomato sauce.
Boom, red sauce.
This is going to have some basil, some parsley. Now we added that garlic, and we're just going to warm it through. Did I get you?
Yeah, it's okay. All right.
Little splash zone.
Little splash zone. That's why chefs wear nice black coats like
exactly.
this.
Wipe them right off.
Kind of hides a lot of that.
Or an apron, you know. All right, so sauce is going to kind of bubble up.
All right.
You're going to get a little splash, but that's all right.
You hear that? Little train whistle?
Who's whistling? Who's
Choo
whistling?
choo.
Is that the magical butter train you got outside?
The magical butter train is pulling in the building.
I've seen that thing. It's up on, what, 46s and the Hummer?
Big old monster truck, that's right.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to slice up some parsley. We're boiling here. You can see it.
Perfect.
And again, I'm going to add a little bit of chili flake to our sauce. Now, people mistake like you're adding spicy. Oh, it's going to be so spicy. Like if you add a pinch of this, you're not going to taste any spice. You're just going to get that flavor.
It brings out
Parsley.
so much more.
We want more herbs, more herbs, more herbs.
Never enough herbs, guys.
So we take some basil. And we have a chiffonade cut that we like to do in the kitchen. Basically, all it is you take a little leaf, and almost like you're rolling up something, you know, that you need to smoke, but you roll it up real tight, and then we slice real thin, and what we get is ribbons.
This is such a nice technique. And if you're looking to put a little basil on top of a dish to finish it, this is a nice way
We get
to
these
do it.
little ribbons.
Boom.
And we'll go inside, and then we'll start just mixing.
Look at that.
Start mixing. Induction doesn't like when you move the pan.
Yeah.
If you guys at home work with induction burners.
It's like it thinks it's intelligent.
Yes. Exactly.
It is intelligent, and if it doesn't recognize the type of cook pan or if a pan moves, it'll shut itself off for safety reasons. So.
Exactly, yeah. I want to make sure that you're not going to burn the house
So like
down.
you were doing a nice technique, that would be great on like a fire stove like
Oh
this.
yeah. Kind of like almost like you're doing a wok situation too. I love cooking on that open flame. It's really cool.
Like to walk it like you talk it. Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, so we have some delicious spaghetti squash that we cooked, and they just came out of the oven.
Oh.
It's like one of those Food Network shows. They were just ready.
Love it.
So I've cooked this morning, and what you'll notice is it kind of shrivels up around the outside. It gets a little bit brown. Salt and pepper kind of permeate that squash, and then all you got to do to make the spaghetti, real simple. All you got to do is kind of take a fork with your index finger and just kind of shred down. And what you're going to notice is you're going to start to get spaghetti noodles coming out of the squash.
Wow. It looks just like spaghetti.
Yep. And you got to make sure you don't overcook the squash. As soon as the fork goes through the squash easily, you want to go ahead and take it out, let it cool down, because you don't want it mushy. Mushy squash is not going to taste like spaghetti. It's just going to taste like really overcooked mush. Exactly. So we go ahead and we take that out.
And that's the natural just
This is natural. I've not done anything. Season, salt and pepper. And then I go ahead
the
and
fork is really just a tool to
get it out.
It's not helping in shaping these noodles.
And I know they do have the spiralizers, but that's not what we're doing here. We're not doing like a green zucchini or a squash, a yellow squash. This is a spaghetti squash. So it comes like this, and all we're doing is roasting and then kind of pulling it down.
I mean, it obviously got its name because it looks so much like real spaghetti there.
Exactly.
And it's so much more better for you. This is a healthy alternative to traditional pasta. And like Chef Michael Scarpa said, he oftentimes will substitute this in his pasta dishes, and sometimes people don't even notice the difference.
Okay, the turkey meatballs have kind of gotten hard. They're not fully cooked, but we're going to go ahead and toss them in.
In the sauce.
In the sauce.
All right.
Now, if you pan fry them with a little bit more oil, get that brown outside like we got on some of them, that's the way to go. That is the way to go. We're going to put it in the sauce. We're not going to cook it too long, maybe a minute or two. Just kind of get it cooked all the way through. Make sure that there's no pink inside the turkey because it's just like chicken. You got to cook it. There's no medium rare turkey.
That's right.
We don't want that. That would get somebody sick with salmonella. And we don't want to get anybody sick.
So we got our spaghetti squash here. We got turkey meatballs. It's just amazing.
We'll go ahead and put this back here. All right, so you could actually use these shells that we have here and kind of serve the spaghetti in there.
I didn't know if that's
we can do that, but we're going to put it on a plate. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to eat the outside, but they look pretty and they're kind of cool.
Like maybe for if you're doing spaghetti squash street food, you could send people eating pastas out of the half of a squash there.
Hey, don't be stealing my idea now. Someone's gonna put that on their menu.
Yeah.
All right, our meatballs are cooking. We want to make sure they're fully cooked through. If they're not, we'll just kind of let them simmer in here. You don't want to boil them. If you start boiling them, what's going to happen is moisture comes out. We want to simmer. Simmer's like a tiny bubble, tiny bubbles.
Right before the boil.
Right before the boil. So
the
boiling's
simmer.
212, you're probably at like 190, 200.
Got it.
Something like that.
Just before.
So we have our delicious spaghetti. All I'm going to do is I'm going to help it kind of separate. Just helping.
Yeah, no mushing, no mashing.
I'm going to take a meatball and I'm just going to double check that it's cooked through. And what we'll do is we'll just give it a cut, make sure it's cooked. Give it that little taste.
I'd love to.
Soft, really soft. And that's what we wanted. We didn't want too much texture.
You know, with that Italian turkey sausage that you had
gives
in
a
there,
little.
it really tastes just like a traditional, beef and pork mixture. You know, it's like really
I like
delicious.
that. That's good.
Nice work.
All right, so we have our spaghetti in. As everybody can see, we have it in here. It looks just like spaghetti. We're going to give it a toss just like you would when you're plating up spaghetti right out of the water. Instead, this comes out of the oven. We
So
just
no straining needed with spaghetti squash.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
And you just want to coat it with some sauce, and then we'll go on top with some sauce. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off.
So this is turkey sausage meatballs, and we're serving it with spaghetti squash. This is a healthy alternative to traditional spaghetti and meatballs.
I'm going to plate it up, trying to give it some height so it looks nice.
Gorgeous.
We got tomato sauce on top.
Got the fresh basil and parsley in there.
Some delicious meatballs on top, nice and saucy.
Man.
And then we'll do Parmesan on top, of course, because we love cheese.
I lost my poor meatball when somebody sneezed. Look at this.
Is that a song? Is that a hit?
Yeah, man, that's a hit.
All right, all right.
It rolled off the table and onto the floor. And then my turkey meatball went right out the door.
That's it.
That's it, y'all.
That's it.
Look at this.
All right, here we go. Parmesan cheese.
Perfect.
And then we'll do a little basil just because we love basil.
And it's classy,
It
right?
looks good.
Fancy.
It's like if we do parsley on the rim, it's like 1980s fine dining. But
oh yeah, parsley on every plate
everything.
that goes out of this kitchen. Did you leave without putting parsley on the plate?
come on.
You're
can't do
fired.
that.
You're out of here.
And the worst is when they put dried parsley on the plate.
The worst is when it's 86 parsley. Then what do you do?
Come on. All right. Spaghetti meatballs, but not really spaghetti meatballs. We did a turkey meatball with spaghetti squash.
Woo.
Healthy and delicious.
This is something you
Do you
can...
want to give it a taste? Come on, let them know what's going on at home.
Of course I want to give this
I'll take this out of your way.
Let me give you the honest assessment. And my mother is Italian, so she cooks spaghetti frequently. I actually had pasta earlier this week with her. So here we go. Spaghetti squash with turkey meatball, a delicious red sauce.
Real deal.
The real deal here. Let me get a napkin ready.
Spaghetti squash does not have that much flavor. It's just kind of neutral, kind of easygoing dish. And it's got a bite to it, don't it?
A little bit.
A little al dente.
No, al dente, yeah.
That's good.
Wow.
And I like that chili in there. I could taste a little heat, but nothing too crazy.
You know, honestly, there is a slight texture difference than traditional pasta, but
Of course.
beyond that, the flavors are all there. It tastes just like a delicious, well-prepared Italian meal, and I feel a little bit better about myself eating that. You know, like you're not feeling like heavy.
Exactly. And the tomato on there, that's a natural tomato sauce. We use fresh tomatoes. We kind of cook them down, garlic and oil. So it's a healthy alternative. Of course, spaghetti's not the worst thing in the world, but I mean that's a good alternative if you are gluten-free or if you're just looking to cut carbs, losing a little bit of weight. That's the way to go.
I remember when I was younger, they, soccer players and runners would eat pasta dishes before they would perform, and to get some kind of like
energy.
Energy or a nice heavy
Something to
meal.
burn, maybe some calories to burn.
I think so, but you know, I would say spaghetti squash would be a way better option for
And when I worked with the Yankees, we did this with the players, and they loved it. And they said, you know, sometimes when they do eat pasta before a game, they get weighed down a little bit, and this is kind of like an alternative that still tastes good, but gives you that healthy aspect.
Are you able to process the spaghetti squash into like a different form of pasta, so it's not a spaghetti strand and actually maybe like more of a lasagna or a...
No, because
Not
of
really.
the actual natural cut of it. You could do that with zucchini, like a green zucchini, or you could do it with a yellow squash, slice it real thin on a mandolin, and then just grill them, and then layer them in. I used to do a grilled veggie lasagna like that.
Wow.
We didn't do any pasta, and it was just all lasagna with the vegetables. It was really good.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, we ready to go?
Yeah,
Next.
man, nice job.
Cool.
Nice job.
I'm going to bring up some pans for us here, and we're going to make, so this one we're splurged a little bit, right? They told me, they said, make something healthy. I said, okay, I'll make something healthy, but then we're going to go ahead and make something that we all love to eat. So we're doing steak, potatoes, and green beans. Who doesn't love steak, potatoes, and green beans?
That's a classic right there.
So what we have today is we have, this would be called like churrasco or like a grilled meat. This is skirt steak. So you'll notice with the skirt steak, it's real long and it runs along the belly of the cow. And this is the outside skirt. So it's gonna be a little bit thinner. They use this for fajitas, they do it steak and steak frites with like French fries. And I think this will be a good application for it today.
A lot of, it reminds me of Argentinian.
Yes.
Right? A lot
Yep,
of...
that type of cuisine. Yep. All right, so before we get there, I just want to show you guys that. We're going to do the potatoes because they're going to take the longest to cook.
Got it.
So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of oil. And these are cleaned little baby fingerling potatoes.
They're so little and cute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're buttery. That's really why we like them, because they're buttery.
I love these little fingerling potatoes because when they're cooked properly, they have that nice crispiness on the outside, but
And
they're
then buttery and
soft
soft.
delicious.
Delicious on the inside, exactly. That's what we're going for. What I'm going to do is, we made caramelized onions for our little burgers down there, little sliders.
Right.
But I'm going to add some onions sliced slightly differently to this one because when it roasts, the onions are going to kind of get sweet and kind of coat the potatoes. And it's going to be really, really good.
Excellent.
All right, so we're going to peel the skin just like we did in the other one.
Same type of onion there.
They haven't come up with a good way to peel onions, and you know, it's just kind of peel it off and hope you don't start crying. But it's delicious, and that's why we're going to add it in. We're going to remove the core again. We don't want a core. We don't want a core, so we want to get that out of there.
Yep.
Core is that yellow part. And then we're going to go ahead and slice it a little bit thicker than we did last time because we sliced them 1/8 of an inch. Now we're going to go about 1/4 of an inch because we don't want them to turn into burnt onion in there. And they're going to cook about 10, 15 minutes, and we don't want anything to happen to it. So we're going a little thicker, and then we're going to go ahead and dump it inside.
Right in those potatoes there.
Yep. And we're going to add a little bit of cumin. And we're going to go ahead and just a little bit.
Now, is that a spicy?
No, that's more like it's kind of like a coriander. It goes well with like Mexican food and kind of like stuff like that. A little background note. It's got a very distinct flavor, cumin. But we didn't put a lot in there. We didn't put a lot. We just want a little bit. I'm going to do a little more oil, coat everything up.
So we got our diced onions there, chopped up perfectly. The potatoes, the olive oil, salt, pepper, a little bit of cumin.
And that's it. We're going to go on this board. We used it for the turkey, but hey, a little extra flavor never hurt anybody. Go ahead and put these right in the oven at 350, 375. And those will go in. Those cook quick because our oven works. Our oven's a worker, man. That oven, watch out.
It's perfect. All right,
Okay.
so we got our skirt steak now.
Yeah, skirt steak. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean it up, and I'm going to marinate it in a bowl. And I have a bowl. Back here. It's got thyme and rosemary. Traditional, very traditional things to kind of grill steak with or sear steak with. I'm going to do pepper. I'm going to do salt. We're going to do some garlic. And instead of cutting it so small, I'm just going to rough chop it just to give it some background flavor. We don't want too much garlic flavor. We want the natural flavor of the steak.
Big chunks to get that roasty flavor.
So this is skirt steak. Like I said, it's nice and long. It's a very fatty piece of meat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half so that way we can fit it inside a pan.
Got it.
If you try to keep it all together, it's really, it's not going to work out.
Hard to cook it on both sides.
Exactly. I'm going to season with salt and pepper. I know we got some in there, but I'm just going to do a little extra. Can't ever have a little too much salt, too much pepper. Now you'll notice this thing is fatty, so we need to make sure we cut it correctly against the grain. And against the grain, it has a natural kind of going this way. We're going to slice it at a diagonal.
Got it.
Go against it. We're going to put that inside there. Take some olive oil. We're just going to kind of mesh those together.
Got the fresh herbs in there.
Give it a little bit of mix. Mix it up real nice.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll just let it sit and kind of just, again, overnight is best. I wouldn't put as much salt if I'm going to put it overnight because then it starts to kind of almost cure. We don't want that. But I put a little bit of olive oil, garlic, pepper, rosemary, a little bit of salt, and then season it again when it comes out. I'm going to leave that right there for now. I'm going to wash my hands because we're touching raw meat.
Perfect.
Want to make sure that they get cleaned up.
And how important is it to marinate your meat before you cook it?
I think it's the most important step.
Crucial, right?
Because if you don't marinate your steak, then you're just going to really have a kind of, oh, thank you, sir. You're going to have a kind of bland meat, and we really don't want that. And you can't add the flavor all the way at the end. That's not going to work. I just flipped my board over so we have a fresh start. So that way we're not cross-contaminating. That's a big thing. We'll turn these both on low if you can, and we'll move on to the next step. The next step is going to actually be making a chimichurri sauce. And we're going to put all the items that we need for the chimichurri sauce into a nice food processor, aka the Magical Butter machine.
Boom.
Used as both, right? You could definitely blend things up with it. You could heat things up with it. You could extract oils. You can do all sorts of good things with this. So why not use it? We're not QVC. We're not trying to sell everything, but it's so that's what we're going to do. Here in this bowl, I have some delicious parsley and I have delicious cilantro. And that's going to be the base to our chimichurri sauce. It's a very herbaceous sauce. It's just going to complement the steak.
It almost reminds me of like a pesto sauce.
A pesto, exactly. Last time I was here, we made a pesto. This is going to be slightly different. Pesto has a lot of basil. I'm going to put some basil in, but I'm not going to put that much.
Just a little.
Just a little bit of basil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do olive oil, just like we did for the pesto, but we're not putting cheese and we're not putting nuts in this one. We're going to put garlic, red wine vinegar, and salt, pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and crack that in here. And instead of using the warm setting on the Magical Butter machine, we're going to go ahead and just use the blend setting.
Perfect.
And I heard that's like a 5 or 10 minute setting, and it helps just kind of blend everything up, and that'll give us what we need. I'm going to slice the jalapeno, and let me see, one second. I'll put some herbs back here.
So parsley and cilantro.
Parsley, cilantro is the base with some basil.
Bit of basil.
I'm going to wear a glove again for the jalapeno.
Keep your fingers safe from
I don't want to really spice up my hands later. I'm not looking for that. I'm going to cut the end off, cut the top off, cut the middle again. We're going to remove the seeds. Now, if you wanted your chimichurri to be spicy, feel free. Put the seeds in there. Okay, I'm just going to help the machine, just like you would a food processor. You're not going to throw this in whole because you're going to get a chunky sauce. We're looking for more of a smooth sauce. So I'm going to chop it as rough chop. You don't have to go crazy on it. The machine will do the rest. And we'll go ahead and get this one as well. So I did like almost a full jalapeno. Not quite full, but we have some extra over there.
Look at that.
And we'll just chop it up, throw it in. We got that. Now we're going to do garlic. We're going to do the same thing, and the machine will do most of the work. So we're just going to slice. We'll try to get it thin to help the machine out, but we're not going to go crazy on it. We want it to be kind of a chunky sauce, almost like a pesto, not super fine. We don't want a pureed, sauce. So we'll go ahead and chop a little bit more. Get everything cut down. And if you have to do 2 blend cycles, you can on the machine. But we'll try one. We'll see where we get. This is red wine vinegar. We're going to go ahead and add that in. That's going to help liquefy the sauce. It's going to give the sauce a real nice bite to it. We're going to add a little bit of cumin. We're going to add a little bit of paprika. We're going to add a little bit of chili flake.
Boom.
Not a lot of chili flake because we did jalapeno. Remember that. And we don't want that to be spicy on top of the steak. Olive oil here, a little bit more. And then we're going to go ahead and close the machine.
Look at that. All inside the machine. All the fresh herbs, spices, a little bit of olive oil and vinegar, and that's how you make a chimichurri sauce.
And it should start.
Hit the blend cycle on the Magical Butter machine. It's going to do the rest of that work for you.
And we'll check back, and if it's not the right texture, we'll blend again. We'll add some more, some juices.
You can blend it as little or as much as you want to get that
Exactly.
desired
If
texture.
you want it really fine, you can leave the machine on, 20 minutes and let it just kind of keep going.
Beautiful.
All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to make some green beans. So what I have here is some green beans, and you'll notice on green beans they have a side that's really not edible. So we want to remove the side that's not edible.
Like it looks like a stem almost, huh?
Yep, exactly. That's where they grow off the plant. You want to remove those. The majority of them I've already removed, but what you do is you just take them off, you kind of snap them, or what you can do, and what I like to do in the restaurant when you're doing hundreds of these for, let's say, a catering for a wedding or something, you got to go ahead and just take your knife, cut the end, and move on.
Line them up.
Line them up and cut them down.
Chop them down. Look at that.
So we'll take those green beans, and what we're going to do is we're going to blanch them in some salted boiling water. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. We're going to get it boiling again. We'll throw them in. We're going to put some salt in there. You want salt in your water because you want it flavored up nice. And we're going to do them until they're al dente. Another thing we're going to do with them is, once they come out of the water, I want to in this bowl, but I want some toasted garlic in there.
Ooh.
So I got these two on. And you know what? We'll switch this up so it works out a little bit better. We'll turn this one. This is a cast iron pan. That's going to be for our steak. We're warming it up. It's already seasoned. It's got some oil in it. We're going to put a little bit more oil. And the thing with cast iron is you do not want to scrub that with soapy water and clean it off. You want to kind of let that just naturally kind of coat the pan. And the only way to clean it is to put salt in it and just rub the salt around and you're nice and clean. This guy on? I'm not sure. Let's see. We're on now.
Boom.
We're going to toast up some garlic.
You got it.
And the cool thing about induction is this water will boil within 2 minutes.
It's quick.
Whereas if you're at your house and you have like electric, it doesn't go as quickly. And we tend to be impatient when we're cooking, so we want everything nice and quick.
Watch pot never boils, right?
Exactly.
A little bit of olive oil.
We're going to do a bunch of olive oil, and then I'm going to cut it with butter. This is nice European butter. It's unsalted.
And adding that olive oil to your butter is going to prevent the butter from burning, right?
Yes, we don't want to burn the butter. We want nice toasted garlic. Nice toasted garlic. We're going to go in with our machine again. Little garlic press.
Boom.
Let that do the work.
Squeeze some fresh garlic in there.
And that's going to be our seasoning for our green beans. If viewers at home haven't noticed, I love garlic, and I think
turn the heat down
a little bit. Love garlic, and it's in pretty much every dish I make. So
it adds so much to dishes and flavor. Whoa!
It adds a little depth. Oh
this
man,
is pop
this thing
locking.
is shooting.
Yeah,
it's shooting at us, man.
Oh, be careful. The kitchen is dangerous, y'all.
It is, man.
Sharp knives, hot oil. I'm sure you got some battle wounds, right?
Yeah, man. Scars all over this.
So the blend cycle's complete. It looks like it's still pretty chunky. So we're gonna.
Did you think we need to add a little more liquid? You think?
I think so. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Most def.
A little bit of olive oil. You know what? Let's give it a little shot of water just to loosen it up.
You got
Give
it.
me 1 second. That's water. We'll go inside and we'll go ahead and blend it up a little bit more. Now, if you didn't have the machine and you didn't have a food processor, go ahead and chop all those herbs and vegetables up and just kind of mix them by hand. There you go. We'll give it a little.
And this is just gonna help agitate the mixture, get it all chopped up nicely while that blender's going.
We have nice toasted garlic.
Perfect.
We're gonna go into the water with our green beans and let those cook until they're nice and tender. And then we're gonna just put this garlic to stop the cooking process. I'm gonna get a little green spatula.
This is such a nice play on a classic. I mean, you're making green beans, potatoes, steak with your own flair.
Exactly. We're trying to, use the old ingredients, but kind of give them a little bit of a pop. So once those are boiled and they're tender, we just add them right to the garlic. It kind of perfumes a little bit, and then we're good to go.
All right.
How's that looking?
It's getting there.
It's getting there?
Needs maybe a little bit more liquid.
Yeah, let's do a little more vinegar.
I know there is a kind of a minimum that helps the machine perform properly.
Yeah, I think it's 2 cups, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need to kind of reach that to help get everything all together there.
All good, all good. We can add olive oil, and we can do a little bit of, there you go, some vinegar. And then let me get you a little bit of hot water. That'll help break everything down in there. And all we're doing is just liquefying those herbs.
Perfect. So now let's try this.
All right, so we got green beans going.
Man, I love green beans.
We have toasted garlic. This was almost to the point where it's going to be burnt, so you have to keep an eye on it. We're toasted. I mean, those are like garlic chips right there.
Yeah, it's that's just the perfect consistency for me. I love that.
All right, we're going to turn this guy up so we're boiling. We're going to turn this guy up so we're boiling.
I know in French cuisine they call green beans something.
Haricot vert.
Haricot vert.
They're a little bit different. Like American green beans are different than those. They're a little bit pricier. They look a little bit fancier, a little petite, if you will. And that's what, everybody likes to use. They're more expensive though. We went with the regular green beans today. Okay, I'm going to turn this up to like medium-high heat, okay? And we're going to do a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to cut it with butter again. Butter, steak, olive oil, that's the way to go. So, we got our steak marinated, nice salt, pepper, okay? We got our chimichurri working right now. We got green beans going. Let's go ahead and take a look at our potatoes.
Ooh.
So I'm going to glove up.
How long are those for? About 10, 15 minutes?
They're small, so you can boil them first and then roast them, or you can just throw them right in. That's what we did. We threw them right in.
Perfect.
We're going to check on them. We're going to check on them. I got my glove.
Excellent. And look, we've got the big pieces of onion in there just really helping with the flavor.
Exactly. It's going to kind of just give it that background flavor. They're not quite cooked yet, but we're close. We're getting there. We're going to cook our steak. Green beans will be done. We should be all up at the same time.
What are you looking for when you? I mean, you can just look at it and tell if it's done. So.
Yeah. Also, fork tender is what we're looking for.
Got
So
it.
next time I take it out, I'll go in easy with the fork.
It
should go right through.
The texture you're looking for there.
Exactly.
Got it.
You want to have the texture. It's all about the texture. All right, we're going to make a space here. I think we're going to plate up on this big square.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the ultimate meal here. We have a skirt steak that we're going to be preparing, topped with a nice chimichurri sauce made directly in the Magical Butter machine. We got our fingerling potatoes roasting in the oven. Some green beans boiling here. This is a complete meal that anyone would be proud of.
Yep, and it's, again, we're talking quick and easy. That's why I want to kind of showcase. Green beans, you boil them, you toast some garlic. Steak, you marinate it, you cook it. Potatoes, you season them up, you throw them in the oven. So we're talking 10 minutes of prep, but then maybe 20 minutes of cooking, but you don't have to be active the whole time.
Right.
So, cool thing about this cast iron, it's going to get wicked hot, and then we're just going to place the steak in. We're going to cook it nice and evenly, get that nice brown texture, and then we're going to get it in the oven, finish it. I like to eat skirt steak medium rare.
Nice.
If you go any more than that, it'll just start getting a little bit tough, and you don't really want a tough steak. We're going to remove some of these big herbs so that way when we go ahead and put it in there, we don't want these herbs to burn, and that's a big thing. See how we're starting to get some smoke here? I'm going to grab some tongs out.
That thing's popping, so you know it's getting hot.
Oh, yeah. Let me grab some tongs. I think I have them here.
Here, I got you, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. There we go. Okay, so the cool thing about skirt steak is it's got fat on both sides, so it don't matter what side you put down, they're both going to be fatty sides. Okay, so we're going to go in. We're going to place it down. We got some garlic on there. We're going to turn this heat up because we're just browning. We're popping it right in the oven.
Boom.
Season this up. Green beans are working.
Look at that.
Sizzling.
Perfect. So you're really just searing each side.
And then popping right in the oven.
Finish it right there.
And it's so thin that it will cook pretty quickly. We're going to turn it so we're getting even heat. I know if you got a stove at home, you know which side it gets hotter than the other. You want to rotate it so that way you're getting an even cooking temperature on both of them. Because you don't want just one being brown, the other one being gray.
Yeah. So we got some butter and some olive oil in the pan here. Got our skirt steak that we're searing.
Green beans are working.
Beautiful.
So we're kind of multitasking. We're going to finish with a chimichurri sauce. I'm going to peek in here and check. Ooh, nice.
How's that?
So we got a nice green kind of chunky, not too smooth sauce.
Perfect.
And that is perfect. So I'm just going to let that set. And if you want, and you're at home, and you want to put that in the fridge, that's the way to go. Nice and cold and kind of...
Yeah, I noticed like I've had chimichurri at a few restaurants, and a lot of times they top your skirt steak with it, and it'll be a little bit cold and refreshing.
Yes, it'll almost kind of cool it down a little bit. I really like that about it.
Delicious.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this top off, and that's washable, so we'll put it down here. And then we got our sauce. Let's see if we can trade this into a bowl. Right out of the Magical Butter machine.
Look at that. Ooh.
Whoops. In the face.
How'd that feel?
Not good.
I'm gonna get a little lick off the
Taste.
edge of the machine.
It should have a lot of vinegar. I got some green stuff on my face. You know we're having fun.
Wow, that might be good for your complexion, actually.
Yeah, right?
A little bit
Put this on my face before I go to bed.
You know, with some cucumbers on your eyeballs there.
People paying a lot of stuff, a lot of money for that.
Help with your sleep lines. All right, so that is delicious, bro. It's got a nice, bright flavor. The fresh herbs that you've used are definitely popping. Garlic, delicious.
Okay, this is just browning up nicely. As you can see, that one's nice and brown already.
I love that.
We're gonna go ahead and take our green beans out because they look like they've absorbed some of that water, and they're getting nice and.
Let's make sure these.
Yeah,
are,
cut that open. Let's see if we got it.
check it for tenderness. Let's see.
Need a couple of seconds?
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Nice snap.
Snap, crackle,
Good
pop.
freshness. Those are very fresh green beans, never
yeah.
frozen. What
No.
a difference.
Yeah, the frozen you'll get a different texture. We don't want that.
You know, I noticed that these fresh green beans are way better than the canned version.
Oh,
right?
canned is not edible, so
Canned
don't
is
eat those.
no good. Stay away from canned green beans, kids.
Come on now.
You know better.
Frozen is better than canned.
That's right.
Okay, turning, burning.
Look at that.
We're looking good, we're looking good. And like I said, we're going medium rare.
Okay.
So all we're gonna do is right into this oven.
Wow. And look at that. An iron skillet like that is actually your cook pan. You just throw it right in the oven.
Okay, we're gonna mix, you wanna mix those up for me?
For sure. We got our toasted garlic and melted butter at the bottom of this. We're gonna get these green beans coated well, and oh man, you can just smell that
We'll
garlic.
do a little more salt, because it doesn't absorb all the salt from the water.
Right.
So you wanna make sure it's salted. Pepper. Delicious.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna get those potatoes out. They're looking nice and tender.
Whoops, one fell. I'm gonna have to eat it.
Eat that. Eat it, eat it, eat it. Let me see this. We're gonna go right in with a fork. Nice and tender. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. All right, we're gonna give this another second in the oven while,
Oh man, I cannot wait to eat some of this. We got these green beans just smelling fresh.
fresh, fresh, fresh. All right, so I'm gonna come around. I'm just gonna plate these up right down in the middle, actually.
I cooked some carrots the other night, and you'd be very proud of me, Chef Michael.
Oh, yeah?
I stacked them up like little
Fancy?
jingle blocks. Yeah, built a structure out of them. I see you're kind of stacking these up. In
Yeah,
a similar
again, we're
fashion
looking
there.
we're looking for the presentation.
It's
We're gonna
beautiful.
put potatoes and then steak on top. Okay,
Gorgeous.
that'll go there.
I see the guys behind the scenes drooling. The ladies are looking hungry.
Mm-hmm. They
Getting
know
ready.
they're eating.
Getting ready to try some of this food. The Magical Butter Kitchen is smelling delicious. We have Chef Michael Scarpa in the house right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been an exciting episode of the Magical Butter Show. We've been making some delicious cuisine here. Started with a watermelon salad, turkey sliders, spaghetti squash and meatballs, and now we're whipping up a delicious skirt steak.
So we got our potatoes. The onions are nice and caramelized on there.
Look at this.
And we're just gonna take them, place them right there.
Oops, this little guy wants to be,
Yeah, cut that guy open.
he needs attention.
Here, grab a small one actually. See if that one's better.
A little small guy. Wow, these are hot.
They're smoking hot. They just came out of the oven.
Hot
so
potato, hot potato.
those are good. And then I'm gonna grab my cast iron out. I think those are good.
Ooh, those are better than good, man. Those are great. Delicious fingerling potatoes here. My boy Schatzberg is cringing at the adjectives I just used there. This is good, real good.
Steak is cooked. We're gonna let that rest just a second because we
right.
don't want all the blood to kind of run over. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna put some chimichurri on the steak, but I'm gonna just go ahead and coat up the green beans a little bit,
Oh yeah, now you're
And-
talking.
coat up the potatoes a little bit. Like this sauce is good on everything. You don't want to overpower everything. Just a little drizzle will go a long way on that. Put these back in. Okay, let's take a look at our steak.
Perfect. Nice skirt steak. So we started it in the pan on the stovetop, went straight into the oven with it to finish it there.
Yep. And now we're just gonna kind of let it chill a little bit, let it chill. I'm gonna grab a spoon. This is butter and delicious kind of steak fat. And we're gonna just put a little bit to kind of grease up those string beans a little bit. Just a little bit.
Add some dynamic.
We're gonna do
flavor
some
to that.
fresh parsley after I go ahead and put the chimichurri. I know the chimichurri is green, but I want just a little on top. Just a little bit, and our steak's resting anyways.
Yeah, I noticed you're letting it rest here. It's important not to just cut directly into
If
this.
you cut into it, we're gonna have blood all over the board, and then we're gonna have a dry kind of a dry steak.
Yeah.
But why don't you go ahead and taste that?
Let me see what we got going on.
And that's
here.
a little piece, but
Wow.
got that good steak flavor.
A lot of flavor coming out of that, and that's before we've even topped it
Yep.
with this chimichurri sauce.
Yep. All right, so clean my knife off, and we're gonna go ahead and slice it against the grain,
Against the grain.
kind of going the opposite way that your knife would usually go. I'm just gonna go.
And often when you order a skirt steak in a restaurant, it'll come served just like this, already pre-cut for you.
Exactly.
They want to make sure that it's cut properly, right?
Yep. And this is medium rare. I think if you go like medium well or well, it's really gonna be kind of like chewing gum.
Too tough.
Yep.
A lot of times if you ordered this in a restaurant, the server would kind of warn you of that.
Yeah, I think so.
If you go to order it well done, they're going to say, listen, the chef really recommends it
Medium. Yep.
No longer than that.
It's a fatty piece of meat, and we do have some blood running just because we're not going to sit here for 5 minutes and wait for it. But at home, I would go ahead and wait 5 minutes, just cover it with foil, kind of let it hang out, and that's what I would do.
Look at this. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
This is so good.
Now this one's a nice medium rare.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Oh, yeah. It's got some flavor.
Perfect.
Okay, finish the plate. Like I said, some parsley all over. Come on. That's the way to do it. I'm going to put that inside. Take this bloody board away.
Bloody boy. All right.
And
So you got your skirt steak, you got your chimichurri. Now it's time to mix them up, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to add this on top. And this is going to, like you said, if it was in the fridge, it would cool it down. But it has acidity, so it's going to cut through the richness of the steak. And it's really going to make everything just kind of come together.
Wow. Look
And
at that bright green herbal color. It's just gorgeous right here. We have the skirt steak lying on a bed of fingerling potatoes that we finished in the oven. You have your delicious green beans. We top those with the toasted garlic and the butter. This is a top shelf gourmet meal right here.
Yeah.
If you were to order this in a fancy restaurant, you'd be paying well over $25 or $30
Oh, yeah,
for this
27,
meal.
30 bucks for the steak. I think you can get it at a grocery store and make it yourself. 10 minutes, and you'll be really happy with the results.
Usually when you get a skirt steak, how many ounces of meat are you talking about? 10?
That was probably like 8 ounces, 10 ounces, something like that. I think that's what we're working with. Yep.
There, so.
Yeah, it's a lot of food, and I think that if you had a little party or maybe 4 or 5 people, this is plenty of food for it. It's kind of on a budget, and it's healthy, and it's good for you. It's wholesome food.
This is delicious, man. I mean, you created a little something for everyone. From the fruit and salad lover, we made a watermelon salad. Let's just do a quick recap for the people at home. Talk about all the different foods we created today.
Definitely. So again, I'm Chef Mike Scarpa, and I'm really excited to be here at the Magical Butter Studios. We made some different things today. I've been here one time before, and we made some healthy options. So we did some healthy options again, but then we also added a little bit of unhealthiness and some indulgence. So first we did a watermelon salad with cucumbers, jalapeno, some feta. We balanced the sweet with the salty and the spicy. And that would be easy to go with some spinach if you wanted, or go on the side of a chicken, grilled chicken. We followed that up with the sliders. Those are made with seared turkey. And then we had cheddar cheese, caramelized onions. We did smashed avocado. We did a spicy aioli on there. And then we did lettuce tomato. And that was the appetizers and the salad. Then we moved on to spaghetti squash, which is a type of squash that you just roast, and it gives you that delicious kind of spaghetti texture. Did it with turkey meatballs on top and tomato sauce. Did roasted garlic, some basil and parsley. And then we moved on to our steak, skirt steak chimichurri. We made a chimichurri in our Magical Butter machine. We did some roasted potatoes, and then we did some green beans tossed in toasted garlic.
Wow.
Yeah?
This is amazing. It smells so delicious in here. There's so much going on. We had a great episode today. Thank you guys, everyone at home, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Let us know in the comments what you thought of Chef Michael Scarpa here. Give us some tips, and we're definitely bringing you back in the kitchen, man.
Sounds good.
Can't wait to get you making some more things using the Magical Butter Machine. Thank you to Customer Service Kenny. Congratulations on getting Employee of the Month. He joined us as well today, showing us how to clarify butter and use those Purify filter bags to separate all those milk fats. Special thank you to the whole team behind the scenes. I see them drooling. Their eyes are looking hungry. They are really excited to try the food you made today. So, Chef Michael, where can they find you at? Are you on Instagram or Facebook?
Yep, I'm on Instagram at mscarpa7.
All right.
And yeah, come on and see me.
And you sharing some photos of the food you
Definitely,
make on there?
definitely. I do classes twice a week, and I'm sharing all the food that we do on there.
Awesome. So make sure you guys go check out Chef Mike Scarpa on Instagram, mscarpa7. All right, easy enough. Thank you so much for coming in,
Thank
my
you,
man.
man.
Really
Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Thank you, everyone at home, for tuning in. This has been another exciting episode of the Magical Butter Show. We'll see you next week.